Star-Spangled Banner from a guy named Tom Didier. If you close your eyes, it will remind you a little bit of Wayne Mesmer from the old Chicago Stadium.
The elongated national anthem, John. I'd love to have pipes like that. Great job here in Fort Wayne. It sets the tone for this hockey game here tonight.
By the way, Fort Wayne, of course, you see it there on your screen. They lead this season series with the all-time. Take a look at that. The Cyclones, 28-18-5. And the teams meet 4 more times this year, as you can see. Josh Sargent to get the JCPenney starting lineups going here tonight. Josh Sargent starts in goal, 13-6 with a 2.66 goals against average. And ahead of Josh Sargent at the defense, Bert Henderson and Eric Dandeneau. And then up front from left to right, Mark LaBelle, Doug McDonald, and Jeff Greenlaw starts at the right wing. He's playing the off wing tonight. JCPenney starting lineups has been brought to you by JCPenney, your Levi's and Levi's Silver Tabs headquarters. The referee for tonight's game, Chris Lee. The linesman, Jay Jacobs and Mark Wilkins. Lee's got him at center ice. Arm in the air. Drops the puck. Happy New Year, everybody. We're underway. And the draw controlled by Fort Wayne. And right below us, the newcomer, Tom Nemeth, dumps the puck down the boards in behind the Cyclone net. Sargent stopped it back there for Henderson, who guides it around to the right boards there to Greenlaw. And he tried to backhand it out of the zone. Ian Boyce kept it alive in the high slot. Then he misplayed the puck to the near corner. Dandeneau there to get it. Hooks it up the left boards. Mark LaBelle. And he'll just shovel it out to neutral ice. Nemeth took it away, gave it over to Eddie Campbell, a University of Massachusetts at Lowell product. Gave it at Robin Bauer. Wrist shot, glove save by Josh Sargent. Tossed it in behind the net, Henderson. And then he threw it to the corner there for Greenlaw. He took a vicious pump on the far side there by Bauer. Lost the puck. Henderson took it away and slipped it around behind the net up the near boards. Kept in by Lee Davidson, Fort Wayne's leading scorer last year. Now at the right point, Tom Nemeth shoves it in behind the net. Lee Davidson kicks it in front, and alertly Josh Sargent pounces on the puck to the left of his net. He just holds on to it right there. We get a whistle, no further play.
Josh Sargent, 28 years of age, grew up in Newmarket, Ontario. He's won his last 4 hockey games, 4-0 in his last 5. Only 8 goals against, a spectacular 1.82 goals against average. He had been in a bit of a slump, 0-3-2 in his previous 5, but he's on a roll right now. A great stretch of victories for Josh Sargent. He's now ranked 7th in the IHL in goals against average.
Well, Norm Batherson will take the face-off against Donnie Biggs to the left of Sargent. Here's Pederson firing from the right point. Sargent stuck that one away. Now in behind the net, Circo waves at the puck. Slides free to the left boards, Castleman. Hands it off to Donnie Biggs, who backhands it out through neutral ice, intended for Broughton, but the puck slides in the Fort Wayne zone. Pederson on the right wing side guides it out to the neutral zone in front of the Cyclones bench. Battle for it. Castleman came away with it. And he carries out over the Comet logo at center ice, flips the puck to the left corner in the Fort Wayne end. There to get it for Fort Wayne, Derek Eberle. They'll flip it out to the neutral zone. Circa intercepts in front of the Cyclone bench, tosses it over the Fort Wayne line. Todd Simon there, flipped it to the slot, and it's sticked away quickly by Racine to the near corner. Walby on it for Fort Wayne, gave it up behind the net. Simon flips it up the slot. Dion, it's over a stick and out to the neutral zone. Williams couldn't hold it in.
Cyclones with a couple of glorious scoring chances. No score here in the first period. We've played almost 2 minutes.
Now Simon sends Hawkins over the line. Left wing, he drives a shot in on Racine. He hit the knees and butterflied in the goal crease to stop that. And one of the Russian trio, Butsayev, wheels the puck out to the Fort Wayne blue line. Then lost it back deep into the Fort Wayne zone. Eberle there to get it. To Pederson on the right side, then to Shafronov. Moves it over center ice. Bashkirov over the Cyclone line at the left point. Gave it to Shafronov. Down the left wing boards to the corner. Jeff Wells pushed him off the puck. Slides free. And now from the far boards, there is a snapshot by Chris Armstrong that hit traffic. Ends up on the near boards. But Sayev in the near corner. Donnie Biggs lifted his stick, took it away, sent it out to the far point. Chris Armstrong drove another shot, but that hit a leg. Came back to Armstrong left point, and he shot it into the left wing corner to Butsayev. Left circle now, Bashkirov, snapshot, Sargent, a big save as he got in front of that shot, then smothered the rebound ahead of the goal crease. It holds on. We get a whistle with no further play.
Great setup to Bashkirov from the top of the circle, and Josh Sargent held his ground. He stayed in that goal crease, then let out a little bit further to his right as it all started into the corner. The Komets Shafronov to the forward Butsayev, and Sargent just fell on top, a rocket from the top of the circle, keeping it a scoreless game. As mentioned, Josh Sargent has been outstanding of late, 4 consecutive victories, and there a strong save. That has to give him some confidence right off the top.
I would think that he would want to see a couple of those shots early on to get himself into this hockey game. He certainly has. The draw to his right. Won by the Cyclones. Henderson will carry in behind the net. Start the breakout by throwing it to the corner, Dandeneau. Back to the left wing now, McDonald. Flips it off the left glass. It bounces through the legs of Nemeth and down into the Fort Wayne zone. Davidson took it there, crossed to Eddie Campbell. He'll carry out at the left wing to the neutral zone. Hands it ahead, Robin Bauer over the line. Then to Davidson, right wing. He took a shot, and he hit the side of the net. It ends up in behind the net. And Dandino pins Bauer back there. Along came Jeff Greenlaw to pry it free to Doug McDonald. Quick pass up the left wing, LaBelle in the neutral zone. They'll dump it beside the Fort Wayne net. Racine stops it, put it back in the net for Campbell. Guides it around to the right boards for Davidson. He lost the puck to the corner, Mark LaBelle. Nice spinorama there on Davidson. Leaves the puck behind the Fort Wayne net. Ian Boyce to get it, though, in front of Greenlaw. He'll carry out. Now behind the play, Campbell holding Doug McDonald's stick right in front of the referee. Nothing called, and we might get some Don Cherry hockey here tonight, Mike. They're just going to let him play.
Hey, that's the way it's been between these two teams all season long. They're low in the major penalties. Quite a contrast to the last few years.
Now here's Hawkins over the Fort Wayne line. Tried to drop it in the high slot, but Shafronov took it away and puts it out through the neutral zone. Oh, and then one of the Cyclones caught a high stick. I believe it's Gilbert Dion. He's down on the ice holding his face. And a little trickle of blood as Bert is going to be attended to by Cyclones athletic trainer Nick Kenny. We'll return and talk about it after this break. It's no score in the hockey game from up here in Fort Wayne. You're enjoying Cyclones hockey.
Love 30.
And we're still trying to figure out what it is that cut Gilbert Dion's chin, and we're looking at the replay now. I think it might have been a skate, Mike.
Yeah, Bashkirov collided with Dion, and then on his forward progress, actually, I believe the tip of the skate blade just got a piece of his neck, and as a result, in the chin area or whatever, and some blood to the ice, but I think he's going to be okay. Boy, it could have been real serious.
No penalties were assessed. Now here's Pederson for Fort Wayne, carrying out to the neutral zone on the right side. Castleman intercepts the puck. He gave it to Williams over the center ice logo. He'll just easily dump it into the left corner of the Fort Wayne end. Pederson collides with Racine behind the net. Racine scoops it to the far side boards. Nice hustle by Steve Roberts to break up the Fort Wayne rush. Ends up knocking it out to the neutral zone. Biggs tries to dump it into the Fort Wayne end. This ends up in the Fort Wayne bench. And assistant, actually, that's head coach John Torchetti collecting the souvenir and tossing it up into the crowd.
33 years of age. He had coached in San Antonio and the Central Hockey League and in the IHL. Joining the Komets last year, replacing Dave Farish and his hockey team winning 8 straight. John Torchetti has the Komets on a roll.
Off the draw, Cyclones control. Here's Circa at the Cyclone line. Cross to Williams. He'll step up through the neutral zone. Took a big bump on the far side by Eberle. You recall Dion told me that he can throw the body checks. He just did there. Williams got it back at the right point. Flips it toward the net. It's deflected wide. And Walby picks it up beside the near circle. Back to Pederson. He'll move it back to Walby along the near boards. Roberts steps into him with the shoulder. Knocked the puck free to Donnie Biggs along the half boards. He gave it to Castleman, left wing circle. Left point now, Circa winds, fires. That deflects on the way in and ends up by the net. Here's Castleman behind the net. Set up the doorstep. Biggs, he fires a shot. That's deflected away. And Roberts got it back, tosses in behind the Fort Wayne net. Pederson guides it up the near boards, not out. Circa fed the slot. Castleman turns and fires. Score! Donnie Biggs on the rebound was able to put it home. Racine laid down to block it, but Biggsy picked up the biscuit on the rebound and slipped it by him. 1-0 Cincinnati Cyclones.
Well, the Cyclones, Don Biggs in the right spot for that rebound opportunity. The captain continues that consecutive game streak as far as playing is concerned. It all started left point. Jeff Circa took the puck in front. Castleman let the original shot go, and then Biggs, barreling on the doorstep, just scoops it over Racine, who was sprawling to the ice. A scoring play for Cincinnati, and again another look. Castleman takes the shot. Biggs right there, gets away from the defense, and Pederson slams it home. 1-0 Cincinnati, an even strength goal for Don Biggs, his 13th of the year.
And Donnie Biggs is the leading scorer against the Fort Wayne Komets this season so far. He now has 5 goals and 3 assists for 8 points in 6 games. Now in behind the Cyclone net, Wells is able to knock the puck to the corner and up the right boards, Broughton. He'll lift it out to the neutral zone. Eddie Campbell picks it up ahead of the Fort Wayne line. Gave it to Nemeth. Back to Campbell. Off the left wing to Boyce in the neutral zone. Ahead to Robin Bauer. Steers over the Cyclone line. Wrist shot. Sargent made a difficult save there. That was a knuckleball careening toward him. And somehow he got the glove on it and held on. We get a whistle and no further play. A face-off in the Cyclone end.
Jock Sargent has to be pleased at his team getting on the scoreboard first with Don Biggs nailing the goal. Sargent in the top 5 in wins in the IHL, going for number 14. And Ron Smith, dapper as always, trying to ring in the new year with a victory. 111 victories for Cincinnati in 200 games as a head coach for the Cincinnati hockey team.
I was going to say, if you add up all those numbers, you get 199. This is his 200th game as the head coach of the Cincinnati Cyclones.
Looking good behind the bench, John, as always, and I'm sure a little bit more pleased with his team gaining a 1-0 lead.
Maybe he's got a TV career ahead of him after his coaching days are done.
That's it.
Now we're back to the play. Pat McLeod, the leading defensive scorer for the Cyclones, has the puck in the corner to the right of Sargent. Lee Davidson wrapped all over him there like a $2 suit. And finally we get a whistle as they've got the puck pinned against the dasher there. No further play. 14:03 to go in period number 1. 1-0 Cyclones.
I haven't seen any of those $2 suits. Where do you go for those?
You haven't.
There you go.
Haven't been shopping where I have lately, Mike.
I guess not. Look at Paul Brodin, who played for the Komets last season. If we can get another shot of Paul, who joined the Cyclones this year and had nearly 60 points for Fort Wayne a year ago. 47 points last year in a total of 59 games.
Here's McLeod sending it over to Wells. Moves it ahead to LaBelle in the neutral zone on the right wing side. Dumps it over the Fort Wayne line. Nemeth is there to steer it out to center ice. Robin Bawa took it over the line. Give it to Ian Boyce, right wing in the Cyclone end. Penalty coming up. He's at the doorstep. Davidson, he scores! So Lee Davidson connects for Fort Wayne on the delayed penalty call. His 5th goal on the season. Nice setup by Campbell and Boyce. We're all tied up at 1.
It was a delayed penalty. Lee Davidson, who's also played in the IHL with the Atlanta Knights. Robin Bawa, the ex-Washington Capital, steps in across the line. A beautiful thread needle pass over to Ian Boyce. Boyce circles, spins to the top of the circle on that delayed penalty, and then with a thread needle pass across, they go tic-tac-toe to Davidson, bottom left-hand corner, and again was that second pass in front to Davidson. The Cyclones' Jeff Wells tried to block it and play goaltender. Couldn't. Davidson nails it home, and we're tied at 1.
Oh, here we go. Back to the play. Armstrong gave the puck out over center ice. Henderson took it away, sends Hawkins over the Fort Wayne line. He shoves it down the right board behind the Comet net. Racine lost it there. Simon in the left wing corner. Flips it to the slot for Hawkins. But that's batted away. Now Shafronov wheels up the right wing over the Cyclone line. Tries a dangle move on Henderson. Ends up losing the puck in the corner. Got it back. Slips it in front of the Cyclone net. And Danino guides it up the right side for Simon. It's by him and down ice into the Fort Wayne zone. Oh, and Armstrong just does miss a check from Todd Hawkins. He was going to put him right through the glass. Armstrong's able to scoop the puck down ice into the Cyclone end. Henderson on it there. But Danino at the Cyclone line right wing gave it up over center ice. And now Shafronov left it there for Batsaya. He'll wheel over the Cyclone line, hands it off down the right wing. Bashkirov, and a snapshot and a blocker save by Sargent. Shafronov with the rebound to the high slot. Bashkirov fires a shot. Greenlaw got in front of that. Here's Pederson to drive. That hit traffic. Now from the left point, Everly dumps it in behind the Cyclone net. And Batsaya battling there with Hawkins. Gave it to Bashkirov, right wing circle out to the right point. Pederson, one-timer, that hit Greenlaw. And the puck tumbles over to Simon, who golfs it over everybody and down ice into the Fort Wayne end. And back to touch is Pederson. Well, they're going to waive the icing. Now Pederson moves it ahead up the left wing in the neutral zone. Norm Batherson lifts the puck into the right wing corner of the Cyclone end. Just circa back to get it. Took a bump, scoops it around the boards, but not out. Kept it at the left point, Campbell. Sent it behind the net, Stefan Walby there. Guides it back to the left point for Campbell. Nearly misplayed it out of the zone. Komets get it back. Here's Batherson now at the left point. Tries to scoop it to the slot. Steve Roberts intercepts and got it out to the neutral zone in front of the Fort Wayne bench.
Steve Roberts with a Christmas present, a pass right onto his stick, helping Cincinnati on a break.
Now Walby took it over the Cyclone line and onside. Got a shot away. Nice kneeling save there by Sargent. Campbell at the left point. Took a shot there from Biggs, scoops it down the boards, but the Cyclones end up with it again. Castleman ahead to Biggs in the neutral zone. He just directs it down into the Fort Wayne end. Back to pick it up, Tom Nemeth. He'll loop it beside the Cyclone net. Sargent taps it up the left side. Pat McLeod in the neutral zone. And he wrists it into the right corner in the Fort Wayne end. The slides behind the net. Racine left it back there for Armstrong, but a hustling play by Broughton to Noggin McDonald. Back to Broughton behind the net. Came out backhanded. Wraparound. Big save as Racine laid the goal stick down. And the loose puck taken by Guy Dupuis, who scoops it out to neutral ice. Oh, and Patty McLeod was just pulled over with a body check by Robin Bawa. They play on. And now finally, Eric Bolton, the newcomer for Fort Wayne, scoops the puck with a backhanded toss over the far side glass up into the crowd. We get a whistle and no further play. We'll take a break with 11:03 left in period number 1. 1-1 is the score. You're enjoying Cincinnati Cyclones hockey.
Surge. It's a fully loaded citrus soda with carbo. Feed the rush.
You shouldn't have.
Don't know what to give? This year, give the Blockbuster gift card. Great for movie rentals, music, and a whole lot more. So instead of this,
You really, really shouldn't have.
give the Blockbuster gift card. After all, 'tis better to give than return. Clueless on what to give?
Honey?
This year, give the Blockbuster gift card. Great for movie rentals, music, and a whole lot more. So instead of this,
Honey, you're scaring me.
give the Blockbuster gift card. After all, 'tis better to give than return.
And we're back to Fort Wayne, just a couple hours away from 1998. John Weideman and Mike Barrick for Cyclones hockey. Now the play in the Cyclone end to the left of Joff Sargent. Battling away in the corner, Lee Davidson along with Doug McDonald. McDonald's got the bear hug on him there. Davidson tries to kick it free to Bawa, who is bear hugged as well and taken into the boards by Jeff Wells, and Cyclones might have gotten away with one right there. Now here's Broughton wheeling up the right side. Pokes it ahead. Mark LaBelle in the neutral zone. Lost the handle on the puck. Bawa and LaBelle battle for it in front of the Cyclone bench. And now LaBelle trying to kick it free. Bawa all over Mark LaBelle right there trying to pin him. Finally the puck springs free and the Komets get it. Campbell guides to the left side there for the newcomer Bolton. He lost it off of a nice poke check from Wells, but then the Komets get it back. Shafronov tosses it right wing. Robin Bawa over the Cyclone line. He's taken to the ice by Mark LaBelle, and the Fort Wayne Komets are going to get their first power play opportunity of the evening.
Robin Bawa on his third stint with Fort Wayne, played in the NHL with the Washington Capitals. Mark LaBelle stayed with him all the way, but Bawa tumbled to the ice in our first penalty coming up against Cincinnati. And again, Bawa streaking down the right wing side. LaBelle got a stick on him, kind of held him down to the ice, and as a result, called for Cincinnati.
So Mark LaBelle given the gate.
So
And Fort Wayne will get their first power play opportunity of the game. There you see Beller still playing with that wrap on his left hand. He's just playing hockey for now. He says he'll be able to scrap in about a week. So I like him when he just plays hockey. What the heck?
Scored his first goal as a Cyclone this season about 10 days ago. Was excited about it. Scored it at the Crown, and Mark LaBelle, a fan favorite in Cincinnati.
Well, the Komets 12th in the IHL and coming into this night on the power play, 26 goals and 158 attempts, good for 16.5%. The Cyclones have improved to 14th best in the IHL at killing them. They killed off 145 of 181, good for just over 80%. Now in behind the Cyclone net, Walby guides the puck to the far boards. Pederson played with the San Jose Sharks, threw it out to the high slot. Currie a one-timer, a nice sprawling kick save by Sargent. And the Komets get it back. Currie at the left point to Pederson, top of the left circle, fires to score! And it's a power play goal. Fort Wayne takes the lead. It's 2-1.
Well, a wild first period here in Fort Wayne. The Cyclones getting on the board first, but a great setup on the power play as Mark LaBelle dejectedly skates to the Cincinnati players bench. But Tom Pederson is a rocket as appointment of the power play. Stefan Walby had possession, got it to the right point. Then, stepping inside the blue line, Pederson low to the ice, beats Sargent just underneath the left glove. And again, that shot may have been deflected on the way through.
I think Robin Bawa got a piece of it. I think Robin Bawa got a piece of that shot, Mike. We'll have to get the official announcement to be absolutely sure. But either way, it's a power play goal, and the Komets take the lead.
Nice thing about it for Fort Wayne, Pederson low to the ice. That's what they want to do when you're on the point of the power play.
Well, they've announced that the goal is from Pederson. So right now for Tom Pederson, that's his third goal on the season, his second on the power play, and we get a whistle and a stoppage of play here up in Fort Wayne. 2-1 favor the Komets with 9:24 to go here in period number 1.
The assists on that goal, Dan Currie and Stefan Walby. Pederson, his third goal of the year, as mentioned, second on the power play, and a 2-1 lead. Pederson also anchored the defense in the Kansas City Blades of the IHL, and he's a big force on Fort Wayne's power play. as a point man. Tom Pederson on defense for the Komets.
They're on the neutral zone, and Batherson took it away from Biggs. Back to Pederson. Quickly across now. Carrying over the line is Everly. Lost it in the corner, then got it back. Put it behind the Cyclone net to the near boards. Jeff Circo will just flip it out to the neutral zone. Pederson collects in the glove in front of the Cyclone bench and sends it across. Everly there. Now to Batherson right at the Cyclone line. He's knocked off the puck with a nice semi-hip check there from Circa. And then they battle for it on the far boards. Finally dug out. Here's Steve Roberts leading the charge. Up the right wing. He crisscrosses with Castleman over the line. Gave it to Castleman down the right wing. He put it back in front. Oh, and a nice stick save there by Racine to keep it away from Steve Roberts. Here's Walby. Up the right wing over the Cyclone line. Wrist shot well wide of the net. Castleman picks up the puck beside the right wing circle and then loops out straight up the center of the ice. Here's Castleman through the neutral zone over the Fort Wayne line. Drop pass. Donnie Biggs moves in. Wrist shot wide of the net. And it's picked up by Broughton. Gave it a Biggs in the corner. Put it back in front for Broughton. He snaps it off the side of the Fort Wayne net. Broughton got it back. Took it to the corner. Got Tom Nemeth all over him there. They battle away. Have the puck in their skates. And finally digging it out for Fort Wayne is Davidson. He sends it all the way down ice into the Cyclone end. Won't go far enough for icing. Pat McLeod back to get it. And he scoops it ahead through the neutral zone. The length of the ice. Guy Dupuis is back to touch. Icing is called against the Cyclones.
So the Cyclones trailing by a count of 2-1 here in Fort Wayne.
And we'll be back with more action after these messages. You're enjoying Cincinnati Cyclones hockey.
Well, if I had money, I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd go downtown, buy a Ford truck or two. I'm crazy about a Ford truck. Lord, I'm crazy about a Ford truck. I'm gonna buy me a Ford truck and cruise it up and down the road. I'm gonna buy me a Ford truck and cruise it up and down the road.
See your tri-state quality Ford dealer.
With the grand opening of the new Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse, now there's a better choice.
The only thing small about Lowe's are our prices. Aisles big, prices small.
Find a lower competitor's price and we'll match it.
Plus, take off an additional 10%.
We shop the competition, so while their prices are up here,
Lowe's prices are down here.
After all, add a T to Lowe's, and what do you get? I rest my case.
The switch is on to Lowe's, a better choice in home improvement.
Back to the Allen County Coliseum. For 45 of the 46 years of common hockey, the man to the right, Bob Chase, has been broadcasting common hockey on WOWO radio in Fort Wayne. To his right, a longtime goaltender in this league, Robbie Irons. Bob Chase, a legend on 50,000-watt WOWO radio. And, of course, John, we're on a 50,000-watt radio station tonight, 1530 WSAI, 100,000 watts of radio tonight. Listen to the broadcast.
Wow, that just blows my mind, Mike. We're back to the play. Here's Broughton picking up a loose puck. A nice backhander stopped by Racine, and a big scramble in front of the net. And finally the Komets come away with it. Ian Boyce. He gave it ahead in the neutral zone. There to take it over the line is Bolton with a wrist with a backhand. It's wide of the net. Slides free to the far board to Broughton. Pokes it across ice for Greenlaw. Left wing at the Cyclone blue line. He winds up and hammers it in on Racine. He makes a kick save. McDonald the rebound. Scoops it toward the net. Another kick save there from Racine. And Campbell and McDonald battle away behind the Fort Wayne net. Now McDonald in the left corner. He flipped it back to the corner intended for LaBelle, but Davidson broke it up. Scooped it behind the net. It ends up sliding up the boards and picked up in the neutral zone by McDonald. Across to Henderson. He'll wind up and drive it in behind the Fort Wayne net. There in the far corner to pick it up, Armstrong. Flips it in front of his net for Nemeth, who scoops it off the left boards to the neutral zone. Danino intercepts, leads the rush over the Fort Wayne line to the high slot, flips it down the slot there for LaBelle, but it's off his stick. LaBelle got it back, pokes it behind the net, and Tom Nemeth took the puck away for Fort Wayne. Cruises up the left side, rips it off the glass and all the way down ice. Henderson skates back, and he was beaten to the puck by Bashkirov, who put it back in front by everybody to the right point, Guy Dupuis. Put it beside the net, Bashkirov, threw it out to the high slot. There's Armstrong, wrist shot wide of the net. And Sargent was screened there by Danino, but somehow the puck missed the net. And now another penalty coming up here. And now you got Danino shaking off the mitts with Shafronov. Let's see, they keep playing hockey. Finally, we get a whistle stoppage in play. In comes Guy Dupuis to face Danino, and then Hawkins there to help out Danino. All happening in back of the Cyclone net, and everybody joins the fracas. Couple of tough guys out there, Hawkins, LaBelle, and Danino.
Both teams only have one player with over 100 minutes in penalties. The Cyclones dead last in major penalties, but their leader is Eric Danino. And right in the middle of it, Shafronov, I don't think he knows so much about Eric Danino, but Guy Dupuis does. And Guy Dupuis, I believe, was coming to his protection here. And again, it all started to the right of the goal. Danino gained possession and then gives a glove sandwich to Shafronov. He said, I didn't like that. That doesn't taste too good.
I like that.
Pushed back. Danino wanted to go with him. Shafronov takes another hit. Then he decides, well, that's enough. So he pushes and shoves back. And then before they could go, Bashkirov says, no, you don't want to go with Danino. But Guy Dupuis just flies in there. And then everything happening after that. But, John, some fireworks. Why not here? It's New Year's Eve in Fort Wayne. A sellout crowd, it looks like, here tonight. So, why not have some fun?
What the heck? It's right for the occasion. Bring in the new year with some rough stuff. Boy, they had 3 tough hombres out there, shoulder to shoulder for the Cyclones. Hawkins, who has, I believe, over 1,500 career penalty minutes in the IHL. Mark LaBelle, who's no slouch. And then Eric Danino, there you see in your picture, sitting back and taking a little drink in the sin bin. And 2 Fort Wayne Komets have gone off, and Danino, the lone Cyclone, sitting it out.
Danino, the leading Cyclones penalty player with 108 minutes coming in and leading Cincinnati in major penalties. As a team, Cincinnati have only 15 coming into the game.
And going to have to find out. All right, well, Danino receives a double minor, 4 minutes for roughing. We don't have the luxury of a PA feed here tonight, so we'll have to tell you as we can hear it. And Dupuis receives 2 for roughing. So it's all going to wash out. Danino gets 4 for roughing, double minor. Dupuis gets 2 for roughing, and Shafronov gets 2 for roughing. So this should wash out.
I think the Cyclones were really getting a break here because Dupuis came in late. Otherwise, I think Danino would have picked up that extra penalty for giving that little meal to Shafronov into the corner, and then Dupuis came in and thus evening up the penalties. Ron Smith going to sort things out here, and John, it will be a 5-on-5 because of the extra penalties here in Fort Wayne.
Now off the draw, Eberle is able to lift the puck into the left corner of the Cyclone end, back to get it Circa. Carries behind the net, then out the left side, threw it back to Williams between the circles. Scoops it up the right boards to Stevie Roberts. He tries to backhand it into the Fort Wayne zone. He ends up sending it up into the Fort Wayne bench. And so we get a whistle stoppage in play. Stevie Roberts played his junior hockey out in Tacoma in the Western Hockey League. We had a shot of him there briefly. But teammates out in Tacoma, Bert Henderson and Todd McDonald.
Yeah, he had some friends coming into the Cyclones and has 3 goals, scored his first as a member of the Cyclones at the Crown on Monday night.
Now here's Circa with the puck behind the Cyclone net. Carries out the left side, pokes it ahead to the line. Walby intercepts, got it to Pederson, back to Walby, right wing circle, wrist shot well wide of the net. Roberts picks up the rebound, scoops it to Castleman, left wing in the neutral zone. He'll just dump it diagonally to the right wing corner of the Fort Wayne end. Derek Eberle there to get it. And he lost it in the skates of Castleman in front of the Fort Wayne bench. He shot it rink wide for Steve Roberts at the Fort Wayne blue line. He was held up there, though. Donnie Biggs is in the zone, and now the Komets take it back. Walby carries to the Cyclones line, in the zone, then out, then gave it up at the line. Roberts pokes it ahead to Simon, left wing of the neutral zone. Return pass for Roberts is off his skate. Eddie Campbell picks up the puck for Fort Wayne. They get it out to neutral ice. Here's Ian Boyce. Over the Cyclone line to the high slot. Circa a nice poke check. Hawkins took the puck away. Head to Simon. Over the Fort Wayne line, left wing. He give it to Castleman, and his drive is wide of the net. Slides around to the neutral zone. Ian Boyce leads the charge. Over the Cyclone line, left wing, back to Baugh. Return pass in front for Boyce. It's by his stick. Ends up on the near boards. And now finally Pat McLeod came away with a puck to Todd Simon. And he flips it ahead into the Fort Wayne zone intended for McLeod, but they're going to say that the Cyclones were offside. 4:56 left for period number 1. Fort Wayne with a 2-1 lead on the Cyclones. We'll be back after these messages. You're enjoying Cincinnati Cyclones hockey.
When you're looking for value and people who care, come see us at Kroger. We'll always be right there. Count on us. Count on the people. Count on us. Count on the price. Value is our best. You don't have to think twice. You can count on us. Here at Kroger. You can count on us. Here at Kroger. You can count on us.
far away. There's a very busy place, a workshop, you might say, with helpers who do marvelous things for you. They know just what you want, like priority mail, about 2 to 3 days, and express mail arrives overnight, and on Christmas, too. You'll find holiday helpers not far away in your post office.
There in your picture, an interesting fellow, Robin Bawa. In junior hockey at Kamloops, he scored 57 goals his overage year of junior. He turned pro with the Fort Wayne Komets the next year. His goal total went down to 14, but his penalty minutes rose above 240. So he wasn't here in Fort Wayne to fight. But he left Fort Wayne after that and made several stops along the way, and he's back now with the Fort Wayne Komets as their captain. And now Simon scoops the puck to LaBelle, who gave it back to Simon in the Cyclone zone beside the right circle. Scoops it out to the neutral zone. Campbell took it away over the center ice logo. Gave it to Slava Butsayev. Hands it off to Bashkirov. Wheels over the Cyclone line. Lost the puck. Wells took it away. And backhands it up the left wing. Todd Simon in the neutral zone. He's got Hawkins breaking up the right side. Found him with a pass. Took it over the Fort Wayne line. Winds and fires. Campbell got a stick on that shot. It tumbles into the right corner. And Bashkirov, oh, they're going to call this. Bashkirov tripped on the stick of Todd Simon. Fort Wayne's going to get a power play here. And now Campbell and Broughton tie it up in the near corner. The whistle blows. Hooking will be the call to Todd Simon, who's not too happy with that call.
Simon was actually going for the puck and instead took down the Fort Wayne player into the corner. It all started back behind the Fort Wayne goal. Simon and the Cyclones were in a forecheck, and yeah, he did get that stick over Walby, and as a result, a power play coming up for the Komets.
So this will be the second power play on the evening for the Fort Wayne Komets. They're 1 for 1 so far. Pederson with a power play goal at the 10:23 mark from Walby and Currie. And the Komets will have a chance right now to take a 2-goal lead with 4 minutes remaining here in period number 1.
Guess the wrong way to go for the puck, John. He went over the shoulder of Walby, and as a result, pick up the hooking penalty. And again, Fort Wayne on their second power play. They're 1 for 1 so far.
Now in behind the Fort Wayne net, Pederson with the puck. He scoops it ahead up the left wing. Lee Davidson in the neutral zone. He gave it up to Doug McDonald, who turns and clears it down ice right beside the Fort Wayne net. Racine stops it there for Pederson, who carries in behind and out the left side. Nearly gave it up, but got it to Bow in the neutral zone. Right wing pass, Walby. Took it over the Cyclone line down the right wing, then took it in behind the net. Walby to the left wing corner now. Still has the puck. Broughton, a nice job over there to take the loose puck and knock it down ice right in on the Fort Wayne goaltender, Racine.
Cyclones' Paul Broughton has been an expert on the penalty kill. However, a new combination with Don Biggs up front and Jeff Greenlaw.
And now here's Lee Davidson over the Cyclone line. He put it back in front. Walby kicked away by Sargent. Here's a shot by Dupuis from the high slot. That's wide. Greenlaw lost it now to Walby. To the left point to Armstrong. Back into the left circle to Davidson. Back to Armstrong. Left point. Back to Davidson. Top of the left circle. Moves in, got it beside the net. Walby tries to dish it in front. Sargent, a nice reaction there to put the glove on the puck to the right of the net and hold on. And then he gave a little swat with the stick to Walby, who got a little too close for comfort.
Geoff Sargent not afraid to use that stick, anything to clear out an opponent in front. Geoff Sargent watching Lee Davidson, who scored that goal. You don't see Geoff Sargent give up too many rebounds. There were a couple on this last sequence for the Komets with the man advantage. Traditionally, Geoff Sargent will fall on top of the loose puck if possible. He's got that wide grin on his face. He's a fun-loving guy in goal, both on and off the ice.
Well, but Sayev will take the draw here against Donnie Biggs. And 58 seconds remaining in the minor penalty. Drop of the puck, but Sayev got it. He got it to the left point for Dupuis. Flips it to the right point, Armstrong. Diagonal pass back to Butsayev to Dupuis, left point. He flips the wrister in on Sargent, who gloves it, escapes from the pile. Then he's going to do a little dangling of his own to the left side and flip it all the way up the left boards and all the way down.
A la Patrick Waugh. You recall the game for the Colorado Avalanche this year. Waugh skated the puck all the way to center ice. Sargent about 15 feet out, and that's rare for him.
Now Butsayev over center ice. The Batherson right wing just across the Cyclone line. Dishes it to the corner, and Circa rides Butsayev off the puck. Slides up the boards to Dupuis at the right point. He sends it down the glass to the right corner, Butsayev. To Shafronov beside the right wing circle. Nice job there by Wells to push him off the puck. Slides free. Greenlaw tries to drive it out. Lost it to Shafronov, then gave him a little cross check there. They play on. Shafronov wheels out top of the right circle. Wrist shot. Big save by Sargent. He had to react quickly. Loose puck in front of the net. Now finally Batherson took it beside the net. We get a whistle and a stoppage in play. And we got another penalty coming up here, and this time I think it's going to go to one of the Fort Wayne Komets.
Yeah, the Komets were all over Cincinnati. It looks like the Komet forward, Butsayev, is going to be escorted to the penalty box on a slashing infraction. And let's take a look in front of the Cyclones goal. The Komets gained possession, and to the top of the circle, a flip shot in front. I think it started right at the top of the play. Butsayev came in, took a little shot. There it is, the retaliatory slash on the Cyclones defender there, and as a result, the power play for Cincinnati.
Well, the hottest power play in the IHL gets to go to work here for the remainder of the frame. 1:57 left for period number 1. Fort Wayne with a 2-1 lead, but the Cyclones are going to get a chance at evening up that score right here, right now. Cyclones, as we said, first in the IHL on the power play. 48 power play goals in 197 attempts. Good for 24.4%. Fort Wayne Komets, they're very hot. Killing penalties, they've killed off, Mike, as we said earlier, over 24 of their last, actually about 24 of their last 25 penalties. And so their penalty killing unit is red hot. And now the play in the Fort Wayne zone. Castleman with it, right wing corner. He'll wheel out beside the right circle, pull up and stop. Castleman looking for the opening. To Pat McLeod. Back to Castleman now, right point. But a wrist shot toward the net that slides through everybody. And up the near boards, it's picked up by Davidson, and with a backhanded swipe, he clears it all the way down the ice and right in on Joff Sargent. 1:25 left on the power play, 1:20 left in the period. Here's McLeod wheeling out over center ice. Guides it to the right wing. Simon took it in over the line. Tried to flip it back to the slot. That hit a skate and slides to Bauer, who sends it ahead to Batherson in the neutral zone. He picks it up inside the Cyclone in on the right wing side. Lost it to Biggs and got it back. Took it behind the net. And then he'll rag a little time off the clock and then just dump it in behind the net. Pat McLeod there to get it. 56 seconds on the period. Moves it to the right wing. Simon over the Fort Wayne line. Turns back to the right point. Todd Simon now. Down the boards to Castleman beside the right circle. Normally in this situation we see Gilbert Dion, but he's probably being attended to right now by the doctor, getting some sutures. Here's Biggs beside the net. To the corner now, up the boards to Castleman. Here's Castleman, saucer pass to the high slot. Simon winds, fires! That hit traffic in front. McLeod got it back, bottom of the left wing circle. To the left wing corner to Biggs. Big battle going on in front of the net. Hawkins and Campbell. Biggs fires one toward the net. That hit Pederson in the skates. 20 seconds for the period. And Simon ran into the referee on the far side, lost the puck. Campbell scoops it out to neutral ice.
Great puck possession for Cincinnati, but no scoring play. It's still 2-1 Fort Wayne late in period 1.
Now Bauer intercepts the puck in the neutral zone and pins it against the dasher in front of the Cyclones bench. And with 5 seconds left in the first period, we'll get a face-off in the neutral zone just on the Fort Wayne Komets side of center ice. 2-1 favor Fort Wayne.
You touched on that Gilbert Dion situation. We'll try and get an update before this game concludes. That blood on the ice earlier from the nip of the tip of the skate on that tumbling play in the first 4 or 5 minutes into the opening period. So obviously we're looking forward to having Gilbert Dion back onto the ice for Cincinnati before this game concludes.
Now Davidson and McDonald will face off. 5 seconds left on the frame. Drop of the puck. McDonald won it to Henderson. Quickly moves it across ice to Wells. He'll just guide it into the Fort Wayne zone as time ticks off the clock. And period number 1 ends with the Fort Wayne Komets leading the Cyclones 2-1. And Mike, this power play, of course, will extend into period number 2. Only 4 seconds. But pretty good period of hockey, I'd say, in period number 1. Cyclones took the lead on Donnie Biggs' 13th goal, and then 2 goals quickly by the Fort Wayne Komets gave them the lead.
Well, the Cyclones down by a goal after 20. See if the Cyclones can gain an opportunity with that man advantage to start period 2.
All right, after 1 period of play, it's the Fort Wayne Komets 2, the Cyclones 1. We'll be back after these. You're enjoying Cincinnati Cyclones hockey.
This is who I am.
I am rich. I am poor.
I am middle class.
I am a boy.
I am a girl.
I am a girl.
This is who I am.
This is who I am.
I am from the city.
I am from the country.
This is who
This
I
is
am.
who I am.
I know exactly what I want to do.
I know exactly who I want to be. I have no idea. No idea.
No idea
What I want to do.
I have no idea.
who I want to be.
This is who I am.
No matter who you are or where you're from, the United States Air Force may be the place for you to learn, to grow, and to be successful in life. We can help you. You can help us.
I have potential.
I have potential. My future is unlimited.
I am somebody. I am somebody.
I am somebody.
Stand back.
And we're back to Fort Wayne. John Weideman and Mike Barrick for Cyclones hockey. It's 2-1 Fort Wayne after one period of play. And Mike, as we said, going out, a pretty even period of hockey, but Fort Wayne connects on the power play.
Yeah, that power play goal, the difference in the opening period. Don Biggs lights it up for Cincinnati early, and the crowd very quiet. This is obviously a New Year's Eve crowd. They're fired up, but a power play goal for Fort Wayne ties the game, and then another goal giving them a 2-1 advantage at the end of 20 minutes of play. Not too bad on the road, and this is very much a very strong Fort Wayne hockey team. Cyclones have to very much capitalize on their power play chances tonight.
And quickly we'll look at the scoring summary of period number 1. Donnie Biggs, as you can see there, with his 13th goal on the season. Nice pickup of a rebound.
Yeah, it really was. Biggs was parked to the left of the goal. Racine was sprawling to the ice, and Biggs nailed it home for that 1-0 lead, but the Komets coming back with 2 more.
And then the guy that led the Fort Wayne Komets in goal scoring last year, Lee Davidson, he connected to tie the score at 1 apiece. And then, of course, before the close of the frame, Pederson connecting on the power play with a big shot.
Yeah, it was low to the ice. There were players in front. We thought perhaps it might be deflected. Nevertheless, the power play goal and a 2-1 Fort Wayne lead. And as you touched on, the Cyclones have to take advantage of their power play opportunities tonight. They'll have one to start the second period.
All right, well, we have first period stats there in your monitor. You see, obviously, Fort Wayne with the lead, and the shots on goal indicative of the fact that Fort Wayne has that lead, 13-8. There's a curious stat right there. Face-offs won. Fort Wayne with 10, the Cyclones with 9. I didn't think it was that even, but nonetheless, a fairly even period of hockey other than the shots and the score.
And we almost had our first scrap of the hockey game. Some rough stuff with Eric Danino, the Cincinnati Cyclones. When these teams get together, you'll likely see at least a couple of scraps, not yet tonight, but I think before it's all over, we may have 1 or 2. Here on New Year's Eve in Fort Wayne, Indiana, you can hear the horns in the background tonight.
All right, well, we owe you a commercial break, but before we take that, let's get to a special greeting from the Cincinnati Cyclones. Kind of a New Year's Eve, warm and fuzzy for you.
I'd like to wish a Happy New Year to all my friends and family, especially Joanne and Jen and Kyle who are at home watching tonight.
Hi, I'm Jeff Welch from Cincinnati Cyclones. I'd like to wish my wife and her family a Happy New Year.
Hi, I'm Eric Dandino from the Cincinnati Cyclones. I want to wish to all of you happy holidays and Happy New Year's, and for the French people back home, joyeux jour de l'an. Salut!
I started here when we had just one used car location. Look at our growth. Now we have 4 great places for our customers to shop at.
Our tremendous growth over the last few years has come in a large part from our repeat and referral customers. It accounts for over 50% of our business.
We must be doing a lot of things right. Our office processes over 1,000 car and truck titles every month.
We'll work hard to earn your business. That's a promise.
Jake Sweeney Automotive, Tri-County in Florence. Always the smart choice.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change doesn't need a crystal ball to know what's in your car's future. Our MVP system will tell us what it needs and when. The answers are crystal clear. You can depend on us.
Are you just as nervous when it comes to car maintenance?
Relax. It's his first game, Chris Lee, involving the Cincinnati Cyclones, a second year. National Hockey League trainee, Chris Lee, and his linesmen tonight, Jay Jacobs and Mark Wilkins. 29 years between them, so experience on the lines. First ever game involving the Cyclones, so he may not be ready for Eric Danino here tonight, but he'll have to be before it's all over.
Well, we understand that Gilbert Dion sustained a cut to the throat area requiring about 25 sutures, but he will return to tonight's game. There in your picture, Bruce Racine doing the old stretcheroo, and then Joff Sargent at the far end of the ice. So far, been a pretty good battle between these two.
Sargent has faced more shots. In fact, a total of 13 against him in the first period as the Cyclones outshot 13-8. 11 saves for Joff Sargent, yet yielding 2 goals, and the Cyclones trail by 1, 2-1.
Now off the draw, Wells will just ease the puck down the right boards into the right corner of the Fort Wayne end. And now when leading after one period, there you see it, 7-1-1 are the Fort Wayne Komets. Now here's Batsayev, set up the doorstep. Actually, that was Bashkirov for Batsayev. He chipped it wide. And looks like Pat McLeod might have injured himself on that last play. He might limp to the Cyclone bench. We'll see if we can get you some news on Pat McLeod. Puck back in the Fort Wayne end. Dupuis guides it out to Bashkirov in neutral ice. He's pushed off the puck by Castleman. Simon got to it and guides it down ice and right in on Racine.
Tight action here in the first period, in the second period, I should say. 42 seconds gone, 2-1 in favor of Fort Wayne. Much of the play in the neutral zone.
Now Shafronov lost it there to a poke check from Roberts. Eric Eberle took it back for Fort Wayne in the neutral zone on the left wing. Dumps it into the right corner of the Cyclone end. Circa guides it up the far boards, not out. Pederson had the puck, then took a hit from Greenlaw. Puck tumbles to the corner. Tight checking hockey going on right now. Pederson slips it across ice. Eberle, top of the left circle, fires a shot that banks off the dasher behind the Cyclone net and then ends up right along the goal line. Geoff Sargent puts the glove on top, and he held on long enough for a whistle.
Again, we talked about it early. Geoff Sargent, who has some words with Jay Jacobs to his right, the linesman tonight. Geoff Sargent does not like to give up a lot of rebounds. No goaltender does, but Sargent's pretty good on holding the puck in his own goal crease area, making sure no second shots. And there's the veteran linesman ready to drop the puck, Jay Jacobs. 16 seasons in the International Hockey League.
Now they're on to the right is Sargent. And the Cyclones get it. Here's Circa behind the net. Flips it back in behind the net to Williams. He'll carry up the right side. And a return pass, rink wide. Circa left wing in the neutral zone. Guides it down the left boards to the corner of the Fort Wayne end. Slides back of the net. Racine pokes it around up the left boards. Currie, he'll guide it out to neutral ice. Williams took it back in front of the Cyclones bench.
Play in the neutral zone, John, to start period number 2. Not much happening in the offensive side of the rink.
Now Dan Currie lost it at the right point in the Fort Wayne end to Greenlaw, but he lost it right back to Dan Currie. He'll wheel it out, moves it to center ice. Walby took it over the Cyclone line. Quick snapshot. Sargent makes the easy glove save, drops the puck to his stick, then guides it out to the neutral zone. Campbell waiting there for it at the Fort Wayne line. There's ahead to the Cyclone line, then over. Lost it in the high slot to Danino. Tries to flip it out. Robin Bawa got a piece of that and took the puck away in the neutral zone. And looks back to his own blue line. And then back up the left wing through the neutral zone. Big Robin Bawa over the Cyclone line. Got away a shot. Danino got a piece of that, chipping it into the corner. And now Bawa battling with Mark LaBelle in the corner. Now is able to kick it to his stick. And then Henderson pushes Bawa off the puck. He and Boyce and LaBelle now battle. And then Doug McDonald took the puck away to Paul Broughton. He'll lead the Cyclone rush out through the neutral zone. Carries over the Fort Wayne line. Drop past Danino. Flips it back in front for Broughton. He was tied up and taken to the ice by Campbell, and a penalty coming up here to Fort Wayne. Now a snapshot by LaBelle tumbles over the net. McDonald got it back to the right point. Henderson flips it to the slot for LaBelle. His stick was tied up. The puck taken away by Robin Bawa. And the whistle blows, and the Cyclones are going to get a chance to even up the score right here, right now.
Looks like a holding penalty against the Komets. As a result, Campbell to the penalty box. And again, the Cyclones were working hard into the offensive zone. Eric Danino throws a beautiful pass in tight. I believe it was Cincinnati's Paul Broughton thrown right down to the ice by Campbell. And as a result, a Cyclones power play holding the call at 2:47. And Cincinnati with a great chance to score the tying goal.
Well, holding the stick was the call. And they got holding there in your picture, but holding the stick was the PA announcement. Doesn't matter. It's a 2-minute minor penalty. And Eddie Campbell's going to sit it out. Of course, Eddie Campbell, the brother of Jim Campbell, who was a candidate for the Rookie of the Year in the National Hockey League last year with the St. Louis Blues. Now the Cyclones 0 for 1 on the power play. Face off in the Fort Wayne zone. Simon in the high slot to the right point, Jeff Wells. Got an interview with Jeff Wells between the second and the third period. Put it down the boards for Castleman. Back to Wells' right point. Shovels it down the boards. Roberts gave it in front for Biggs. He chips it in on Racine, who makes an easy glove save, and he holds on to the puck. We get a whistle and no further play.
John, a key for Cincinnati in the power play right now is I was just about going to say the loss of Dion. We hadn't seen him, but he's back. So we touched on the stitches. He's back on the wing for Cincinnati. And now the number 1 ranked power play is back to the traditional unit of Biggs, Castleman, and Dion on the points. Wells and Simon with the man advantage. It's McLeod's absence right now that is being felt. Wells has taken his spot on the other point.
Now Simon with the puck in the neutral zone. Gave it away. Ian Boyce took it over the Cyclone line shorthanded. Dropped it in the high slot, but Castleman intercepts the pass and wheels up the left wing through the neutral zone. Drives it down the left boards behind the Fort Wayne net, and it eludes Jeff Wells at the right point. It ends up in the neutral zone.
Cyclones need to set up into the offensive side of the rink. So far, no great scoring chances with the man advantage.
Here's Castleman with a top of the right circle. Now he wheels out to the right point, winds up, fires a shot, and Armstrong got a piece of that with the shin pads. Diggs took the puck at the left point, and now he's nearly knocked off the puck in the high slot, but flips it beside the right circle for Castleman. He misplayed it to Boyce, who clears it all the way down the ice. 1:02 to go on the Cyclone power play.
Cyclones not really getting in front of goaltender Bruce Racine in the power play. That's something they'll have to do in order to score a man advantage goal tonight.
Here's McDonald sending it rink wide. Simon took it over the Fort Wayne line, stops at the left point. Taking a look, Simon put it toward the net. It deflects just wide, and Dion got to it. Flips the puck back beside the left wing circle to Doug McDonald. Out to the left point, Simon. Cross to the right point, Wells winds, fires, blocked in front. And now Roberts got it in the near corner. To the right point, Wells. Far point for Simon with a one-timer. Nice pad save there by Racine. Loose puck taken by Bauer against the far boards. 25 seconds for the Cyclone power play. And the loose puck behind the Fort Wayne net. Everly drives it off the near glass and all the way down ice and right on Sargent.
This time the Cyclones had a couple of scoring cracks on Racine. Just couldn't nail it home.
Now Danino drives the puck down the right glass. It ends up in the corner on the far side. Dupuis tries to scoop it out and succeeds. It slides back down ice into the Cyclone end. Josh Sargent plays it to the right side. Danino 2 seconds on the penalty. He moves it ahead. Greenlaw, right wing over the Fort Wayne line. He got tied up with Dupuis along the near boards. They joust, and then the Komets control. And Fort Wayne back to full strength. Armstrong, former Cyclone, wheeling over the Cyclone line and down the slot. Nice play by Bert Henderson to knock him off the puck. Broughton reaches in to kick it away to the corner to LaBelle. He tried to scoop it out. LaBelle ran into Dupuis on the far side. There to get the puck, Henderson behind the net. Moves it to the right side, Danino. Scoops it up the right wing for Greenlaw, but it's over a stick to the neutral zone. And one of the Russian trio controlling, Bashkirov, just flips it over the Cyclone line. Henderson intercepts to LaBelle, ahead to Broughton, right wing over the Fort Wayne line. Fires a shot, and a kick save by Racine. And the loose puck taken by Nemeth. Moves it ahead now, the neutral zone. Butsayev, right wing over the Cyclone line, tries to dangle by the defense on the far side, and a nice check there by Greenlaw to knock Butsayev down to the ice. He's going to try and work his way past Circa. And now Nemeth carries over the Cyclone line, down the right wing, pushed off the puck by Circa. Circa took a bump, scoops it up the far side boards. The Russian trio take it back with Sayev to Campbell, top of the near circle, snaps off a shot. That hit traffic, and then LaBelle got to it and scoops it out off the near boards to neutral ice, and then took an elbow there from Sayev. Big play on. Here's Eddie Campbell with it in front of the Cyclone bench, scooping it down the left boards and behind the net. Sargent stops it there for Circa. Now we got a tie-up right next to the Cyclone bench. Eddie Campbell got the stick up there with Hawkins. And let's see if they drop the mitts and have a go. Campbell, a college player, not known for the scrap, and now Hawkins has dropped the mitts. Has a hold of Campbell, throws the right. And now Hawkins still looking to get that hand free. Campbell put the left hand on top of Hawkins' shoulder, trying to pull the jersey up. Got a good grab on one another, and Campbell trying to throw the right. No damage. Hawkins, big uppercut. Oh, I think he caught him on the chin. And now the two of them wrestle in front of the bench. And Campbell comes over with the right, doesn't land. Hawkins has him tied up there, and finally the linesman intervenes, so we're going to get a couple of more penalties.
31-year-old Todd Hawkins against the young man, 8 years younger, but hanging in there with him, and obviously, actually, it was Campbell hanging in with Hawkins, who did a fine job. Our first scrap of the night, it's 2-1, more fireworks from the Allen County Coliseum.
And we'll be back after these. You're watching Cincinnati Cyclones hockey.
The United States Naval Academy offers unique opportunities for academic, athletic, and leadership excellence. Here, young men and women learn to lead and accept responsibility with a comprehensive program that challenges them morally, mentally, and physically. Here, they strive for the highest ideals of integrity and professionalism. Here, they prepare for their future roles as officers and leaders in the Navy and Marine Corps. Midshipmen accept their commitment to the Naval Academy's highest priority, character development, and dedicate themselves to the core values of honor, courage, and commitment. These young men and women are the U.S. Naval Academy. Leadership and vision for the 21st century.
And now 2-1 is the score. Favorite Fort Wayne. Hawkins and Campbell each sent off. 5 minutes for fighting. And now back to the play. Castleman with the puck. Flips it to Biggs, left wing in the neutral zone. Back for Castleman. He let it slide free to the near boards, but we get a whistle anyway. The Cyclones are offside, and Currie was holding up Steve Roberts as he tried to get to the puck into the Fort Wayne zone. And there's that old clutching and grabbing and encumbering defensive style that they play nowadays in hockey.
Well, how about Todd Hawkins? He nailed Campbell to the point where his jersey's completely off. A fighting major, Ed Campbell, with Hawkins at the 6'11" mark, but obviously takes the jersey off and said, I had enough of Todd Hawkins. I'll sit it out for the next 5 minutes. He's going to cool down, definitely, without the jersey on.
And if you'll recall, Campbell and Hawkins were involved in a high stick incident back at the Crown where Todd Hawkins caught the shaft of Campbell's stick and then was out for a few games. Back to the play. Walby took it over the Cyclone line and down the slot behind Williams, but then a nice save there by Sargent to dive on the loose puck. He held on, and then David Williams finished off Walby so that he couldn't get back into the play. We get a whistle and a stoppage and play. There you see Todd Hawkins. He pulled the sweater off to readjust the old shoulder pads, and he'll be back at it. One of the hardest hitters, pound for pound, arguably, in the International Hockey League, Todd Hawkins.
Todd Hawkins says this is his favorite building, one of his favorite buildings to play in the IHL, because Todd's played in what we call the old IHL, Flint, Saginaw, Kalamazoo, and Fort Wayne, and now the new IHL, but he said this is one of his favorite buildings, the atmosphere and the intensity, and Todd Hawkins dropped them tonight, the first scrap of the evening for Cincinnati and Fort Wayne.
Now off the draw, here's Shafronov, sends it across ice, nice intercept by Wells, he'll carry out, he might beat the defense, carries over the Fort Wayne line, got tripped and taken to the ice, nothing called, they let him play. Here's Dupuis, right wing in the neutral zone for Fort Wayne. Driving it down the boards behind the Cyclone net. At the side of the net, Danino tries to clear, kept in the zone though. Bashkirov fires one wide of the Cyclone net. And it ends up in the neutral zone. Armstrong took it there for Fort Wayne, crossed to Dupuis, who was hit hard by Greenlaw. Puck tumbled to the Cyclone blue line. Wells there to get it to Greenlaw in the neutral zone. He taps it down ice to the Fort Wayne end and then got tied up with Dupuis along the near boards in the neutral zone. They joust a little bit. Let's see if that develops. They play on. There's Shafronov carrying through the neutral zone. Lost the puck in the Cyclone end. Pat McLeod took it away. Head to Broughton, a former Fort Wayne Comet. Took it over the line. They put the Broughton shuffle on Nemeth. Lost the puck against the near boards. Got it back. And here's Broughton now, right wing corner. Fed it to the slot for Simon. He steps off a shot, but that hit a stick of the defenseman Pederson and tumbles over the glass behind the Fort Wayne net and up and out of play. We get a whistle and a stoppage in play. 12:24 left for period number 2. It's 2-1 Fort Wayne. Join us after the break. You're enjoying Cyclones hockey.
You shouldn't have.
Don't know what to give? This year, give the Blockbuster gift card. Great for movie rentals, music, and a whole lot more. So instead of this...
You really, really shouldn't have.
Give the Blockbuster gift card. After all, 'tis better to give than return. Clueless on what to give? Honey? This year, give the Blockbuster gift card. Great for movie rentals, music, and a whole lot more. So instead of this... Honey, you're scaring me. Give the Blockbuster gift card. After all, 'tis better to give than return.
The Cincinnati Cyclones and the Cincinnati Silverbacks have a new home. Riverfront Coliseum has become the Crown, with new seats, a new sound system, a new scoreboard, and more restrooms and concession stands. See for yourself with the Crown Combo Pack. 4 tickets to a Cyclones game, 6 tickets to a Silverbacks game, plus $10 in Crown cash. It's a $104 value for just $24.95. Call 721-1000 for the Crown Combo Pack. We're back to Fort Wayne, and as you join us, Henderson drives a shot from the left point. That's intercepted, and Campbell clears it to the neutral zone. Here's Williams with it on the right wing side, dumps the puck down the boards, in behind the Fort Wayne net. This slides free to the left point. Henderson moves in, put it in behind the Fort Wayne net. That slides to the right wing corner. Oh, and Doug McDonald got wrapped up with Tom Nemeth and took him heavily into the corner boards. They play on. Lee Davidson scoops the puck away, and now a penalty coming up here. This will be to the Cyclones. Comets are going to get another power play. Tom Pederson. Cross to Nemeth on the left side. He'll move it out to the neutral zone. Lee Davidson on the left wing. And a cross ice pass intended for Bolton, the newcomer. Lost it into the Cyclone end. And it's finally poked out to center ice and down ice into the Fort Wayne end. Pederson back to get it. Fort Wayne net empty, as you can see at the far end of the ice. Here's Davidson now. Fort Wayne with 6 attackers. He moves it to Eberle near side. Buried with a body check from Broughton, who got hold of the puck and tried to toss it toward the empty Fort Wayne net, but as he does, the whistle blows. And a penalty coming up here to the Cyclones. Fort Wayne going to get another power play.
8:36 the time. The referee is going to call Doug McDonald to the penalty box. Cyclones getting a break as Bert Henderson also held up a comment on the offensive attack, but as a result, Fort Wayne power play. Doug McDonald not happy about it. A holding call at 8:36. And again, on that play, it was into the corner. Doug McDonald just threw down the Fort Wayne player into the corner, Tom Nemeth, and I think that was the reason for that penalty, right back to the left of the Fort Wayne goal.
Well, the Komets 1 for 2 on the power play so far.
They've changed the call from holding to elbowing at 8:36. Initially, they announced it as a hold, but now it's an elbow.
Now Circa takes a little time and shovels the puck down the boards behind the Fort Wayne net as Shafronov and Danino tangle right in front of the Cyclone bench they play on. Here's Butsayev wheeling out the center ice and guides it up the left wing. Walby took it over the Cyclone line, made a diagonal pass to the right wing corner for Shafronov. Pushed off the puck there by Circa. Butsayev got it behind the net. He put it to the corner, Shafronov. To the right point, Dan Currie. Put it down the boards to the corner, Shafronov. Then into the right wing circle for Walby. Trying to kick it to the corner, he does. Shafronov to Walby, right circle. To the right point, Currie. Threw it behind himself there to Shafronov beside the right circle. Circa came along, swept it off his stick and out to the neutral zone. Castleman picks it up in front of the Fort Wayne bench. Tries to ease it by Currie, but Currie took it away. And then lost it at the Cyclone line as Biggs chips it out off of Butsayev, and the puck drops into the Cyclone end before the Fort Wayne player Currie could clear the zone, and the Komets are offside.
John Torchetti's team leading Cincinnati 2-1, trying to take advantage of this power play opportunity. The Cyclones, just the first period goal by Don Biggs, 5 minutes in, and that's been it. We're halfway through the second period. The Komets still hold on to the lead. The Cyclones kill off that first minute with the Russians out there, so that's a break with Cincinnati 1 man short.
1:07 on the power play. And the draw just ahead of the Cyclone line. Greenlaw sent it back toward the Fort Wayne blue line. Armstrong took it there, got it to Pederson. Back across now Armstrong, a former Cyclone, fell down in front of the Comet bench, got to his feet, drove it down the right boards behind the Cyclone net to the near corner. Bauer took it away, put it behind the net, Lee Davidson. Carries out now to the right corner, sends it to the right point to Armstrong, flips it on goal, and a solid kick save by Josh Sargent. He kicked it so hard, he got it out to the neutral zone. He could go to see the Cincinnati Bengals about being their punter.
There you go, and you know what? That's no rebound. If you kick it out like that to center ice, it's okay to give up rebounds, right?
That's right. Now here's Henderson behind the net. Oh, hit heavily from behind there by Pederson. They play on. They let him play.
So Doug Pelfrey's going to be worried.
Now in behind the net, Lee Davidson. I don't think so. Flips it in front of the net to the near boards. Robin Bauer there to get it beside the left circle. To the left point, Armstrong. Slings it across right point to Pederson. To Armstrong, high slot. Out of the left wing circle, Bauer. To Armstrong, high slot to Pederson, right point. He fires. Sargent the kick save. Rebound, and Pederson scoops it in on Sargent, but Sargent makes a nifty save and holds on. And whistle stoppage in play, and possibly some controversy right there at the break.
Well, the controversy is the fans thought that the play should have continued. Job Sargent, as you described aptly, makes a kick save. Then he tried to pounce on the rebound. We'll take a look at it here as Armstrong started the play, the former Cyclone, to Pederson at the right point. His shot was kicked aside by Job Sargent. Then, on the rebound, Pederson tried to stuff it free, but they whistled it down. The Komets felt that they should have allowed to keep the play moving, and the Boo Birds were out here in Fort Wayne. Job Sargent doesn't care.
Now the draw is going to be to his left, and the Cyclones are back to full strength now. Simon and Dion back out there for the Cyclones. The draw came back to Dupuis at the right point. Flips it over the Cyclone net, slides free to the near boards. Shafronov took it away to Butsayev, back to Shafronov. Quick pass across to Bashkirov. He sends it behind the Cyclone net. Dion scoops it around to Broughton on the right boards. And he's pushed off the puck by Shafronov, but Wells got to it and guides it out over center ice. Eberle took it away. Over to Dupuis in front of the Fort Wayne bench. He'll flip it down the boards behind the Cyclone net. Wells back to get it. 8:55 for the second period. 2-1 Fort Wayne. Over to McLeod on the left side. Scoops it up the left wing, intended for Dion. That's by him in the length of the ice. Derek Everly is back to touch for Fort Wayne. And icing is called against the Cincinnati Cyclones. 8:47 left for period number 2. 2-1 favor Fort Wayne. And we'll be back after these messages. You're enjoying Cincinnati Cyclones hockey.
Well, if I had money to tell you what to do, I'd go downtown, buy a Ford truck or two. I'm crazy about a Ford truck. Lord, I'm crazy about a Ford truck. I'm gonna buy me a Ford truck and cruise it up and down the road. I'm gonna buy me a Ford truck and cruise it up and down the road.
See your tri-state quality Ford dealer.
Around the corner, not far away, there's a very busy place, a workshop, you might say, with helpers who do marvelous things for you. They know just what you want, like Priority Mail, about 2 to 3 days, and Express Mail arrives overnight, and on Christmas, too. You'll find holiday helpers not far away in your post office.
Back to Fort Wayne. And premature Happy New Year's to everybody. Got a couple of hours yet. John Weideman and Mike Barrick back here at the Allen County Coliseum in Fort Wayne, where the Komets enjoy a 2-1 lead. Off the draw, Pederson a drive, and a big save by Sargent as he got the body in front of that shot. Pederson got the rebound, scoops it behind the net. Henderson couldn't hold on to it. Walby got it, flips it out in front. Danino pokes it away to Biggs. Then up the right wing, Broughton in the neutral zone. Carries over the Fort Wayne line, put the Broughton shuffle on Everly. Tries to flip it toward the net. It ends up in behind. Broughton got it back and tried to wrap around. This time Everly was able to push him off the puck. And then Batherson left it back there for Pederson. Scoops it up the left wing side. Walby ends up sending it to the neutral zone. And from over the center ice logo, Henderson scoops the puck off the near boards into the Fort Wayne zone. Everly guides it back out in front of the Cyclone bench. Danino there to get it. Flips it ahead for Broughton on the left wing into the Fort Wayne end. But Broughton was about a step inside the Fort Wayne zone. And the Cyclones are offside.
As mentioned earlier, Broughton, who played at the University of Minnesota, is college hockey. Last year played for the Komets, 19 goals for the Fort Wayne hockey team, and has been kind of a steady Eddie for Cincinnati, both as a penalty killer and a checker, and also can chip in with some scoring plays. Broughton for the Cyclones has 12 points in 35 games this year for Cincinnati.
Time now for the Bryant Heating and Cooling hot and cold player update, and you'd have to say that Donnie Biggs is the hot player for the Cyclones. Mike, he leads the Cyclones in scoring in games against the Fort Wayne Komets. And tonight's hot and cold player update has been brought to you by Bryant Heating and Cooling. Be sure to call Bryant Heating and Cooling to the rescue. And now we're back to the play. Here's Armstrong behind the Fort Wayne net. Carries out the right side, now ahead to the neutral zone. Armstrong winds up, drives the puck to the left corner, slides in behind the Cyclone into the far corner. Circa trying to jump up to avoid a check. Scoops it up the left boards for LaBelle, who guides it to the point. Kept in there by Everly. Actually, Nemeth, he snaps it in on Sargent. He made a glove save and threw it in behind the net for Circa, who moves it up the right wing side for Greenlaw. He ran into a check on the near side boards from Campbell. Lost the puck into the Fort Wayne zone. Nemeth from behind the net. Scoops it to the far board. Shafronov. Then to Bashkirov. Outlet passes up the left wing in the neutral zone to the helmetless Eddie Campbell. He got tied up with David Williams. A couple of New Englanders there joust. And finally the Komets take it back. Nemeth carries out through the neutral zone. Nearly ran into Bashkirov. Just dumps the puck down the left board behind the Cyclone net. Sargent stops it for Circa, who quickly moves it up the right wing. Greenlaw in the neutral zone. He was at the end of his shift. He just sent it down the boards into the right corner of the Fort Wayne end.
Cyclones change on the fly, much of the play in the second period in the neutral zone.
Now Simon over the line to Dion, left wing circle. A shot on, a big save by Racine. He didn't even know he had made the save. Took the shot at his chest, and I believe he thought that one might have trickled through the area between the body and the right arm, but he held on to it there. And a whistle and a stoppage in play. A nice save by Racine.
Cyclones took the puck in across the line. Simon, a beautiful thread needle pass over, and Dion with a rocket, as you mentioned, going for the short side. Racine comes out, and again, from the top of the circle, that left-handed shot. Again, Racine covered that right side of the goal very well and holds on. Dion bidding to become the first Cyclone this year to nail 20 goals. He comes in with a hefty total of 19.
And you saw Racine look back into the Fort Wayne net. He wasn't sure if he had the puck the whole way. Now here is Eric Bolton. Newcomer to the Fort Wayne lineup, gave up the puck at the Cyclone line. Pat McLeod, then to Dion, then to Hawkins, ahead now to Simon, left wing over the Fort Wayne line. He ran into Dupuis. Hawkins took it away, put it in front for Dion. He's tripped as he went to the net, and a penalty coming up here to the Fort Wayne Komets. And I believe Lee Davidson will be the guilty party. Cyclones are going back to the power play. 6:28 left for period number 2. It's 2-1 Fort Wayne.
I'll tell you what, Gilbert Dion is seeing the ice and all over the place. This time a penalty against Guy Dupuis, forcing the Komets to one-man short. It all started in across the line. It was the drop pass free in front to Dion and then tripped up on the way towards the goal, and the Cyclones gain a power play. Guy Dupuis in the box for Fort Wayne, holding at 13:32, and the Cyclones again have a power play. Their third of the night. They're 0 for 2 so far. Last year, the Cyclones had 4 20-goal scorers. It was Cincinnati's Biggs, Castleman, Thomas, and McDonald. Again, Dion trying to be the first this year for Cincinnati.
Here's a draw now to the right of Racine. And Pederson against Biggs. Biggs chips it to the left corner. Oh, and Campbell hit head first into the boards there, attempting to get the puck. Everybody tied up over there. Castleman dug it out. Castleman took it behind the net, flipped it back to the left corner. Biggs now beside the left wing circle against the boards. Donnie Biggs, Cyclone team captain, flips it back in front for Simon. It's off a stick to the near boards. Ian Boyce got hold of it, and he backhands it off the left boards and down ice into the Cyclone end.
Good scoring chances for the Cyclones early on this power play. They want to set it up and see if the Cyclones can nail one 40 on.
Biggs right wing in the neutral zone, dumps it diagonally to the left wing corner in the Fort Wayne end. It bounces free. Pederson sends it up the right boards to Bella, who clears it down ice into the Cyclone end. Here's Sargent to play it beside his net on the goal line. Now in behind for McLeod, who carries out the left side. Pat McLeod with 1:14 on the power play to the neutral zone. Flips it left wing to Simon, took it over the Fort Wayne line. Ran into Pederson over there, lost the puck. And Eberle sends it around up the left boards and clear and all the way down ice.
That's not what the Cyclones want to do. They want to stop it across the blue line and set up a play. The Komets are standing up at the blue line and immediately knocking it back down into the Cincinnati territory.
52 seconds on the power play. Simon kicks the puck into the Fort Wayne end, but his counterpart, number 9, Derek Eberle, clears it back down the left boards and all the way down behind the net.
Deja vu, the same play for the Cyclones. They'll see if they can set one up into the Fort Wayne territory.
Now 37 seconds on the power play. Roberts over the line, down the left wing, wrist shot, and a blocker and glove save there by Racine. He elects to just hold on to the puck ahead of the Fort Wayne goal crease. 5:02 left for period number 2. Fort Wayne with a 2-1 lead, and 35 seconds remaining in the Cyclone power play. The draw will remain in the Fort Wayne zone.
John Torchetti played in the East Coast Hockey League, and then of course became a head coach and an assistant coach, and his team playing very well. Ron Smith a bit concerned with his team not playing well so far in the power play, but plenty of time left. 5:02 left in the second period. A 2-1 advantage in favor of the Fort Wayne Komets.
Batherson and Doug McDonald face off to the left of Racine. McDonald won it cleanly to Wells' right point. Now top of the left circle, Henderson, he fires just wide of the net. And now Roberts pokes it to the right point. Wells backs up to the deep slot, winds up, fires a shot that hit a stick on the way in and tumbles over the glass behind the Komet net. And up into the crowd, we get a whistle and a stoppage in play. 26 seconds left on the Cyclone power play.
The loyal Fort Wayne fans, so it looks like a sellout here tonight. And again, they've supported this hockey team through thick and thin. In fact, this is actually the Flint Spirits franchise. About 10 years ago, the Komets moved to Albany, New York, and the Flint Spirits moved down to Fort Wayne and continued the tradition of the Fort Wayne Komets. So really, this is the second edition of the Fort Wayne Komets, but continuous hockey for 46 years.
And wasn't it Fort Wayne that's been in business for 46 years, and 53 other hockey teams have gone out of business, Mike, something like that?
They've kept it going for a long time. The old IHL with the Port Huron, Dayton, and Saginaw, and Kalamazoo, and as mentioned now, you have Orlando and San Antonio, and across the country and across the United States. So it's great to see.
Well, Wells fired one from the right boards that Racine got the glove on, and he held on to it there. Stoppage in play. We'll get another face-off in the Fort Wayne zone. 21 seconds left on the Cyclone power play.
Doug McDonald getting a chance with the man advantage. He is traditionally a player that's more in the checking line, getting an opportunity in the power play, and he scored a couple of goals with the man advantage. Doug McDonald likes to see that ice time on the power play. He has 5 goals this year, but could improve that with more time, he feels, with the man advantage.
McDonald won the draw to Williams at the right point. He sends a shot wide of the net. Ian Boyce picks up the puck on the right wing side and clears it all the way down ice. Sargent stops it on the goal line to the left of net. Flips it ahead to Doug McDonald, right wing in the neutral zone. He'll send it off the glass and in behind the Fort Wayne net. Racine shoves it right back up the glass. It's picked up by Bitsayev. Tries to clear. Williams kept alive right point. Flips it on goal and a nice pad save there by Racine. He just smothers the shot there in the Fort Wayne crease. He held on long enough for a whistle. We get a stoppage in play. 4:24 left for period number 2. 2-1 Fort Wayne, and come back after this break. You're enjoying Cincinnati Cyclones hockey.
You won't want to miss Reds Fest 98, sponsored by the Klosterman Baking Company, Saturday, January 3rd at the Cincinnati Convention Center from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Reds Fest 98 is a day of fun and activities all devoted to the Reds past and present. You can meet players and coaches, participate in discussion with the front office, and learn more about the history and future of the Reds. Tickets on sale at all Ticketmaster outlets, the Dugout Shop at the Westin, or call 421-4510 extension 4106. Be a part of Reds history. Come to Reds Fest 98.
It may not look like it, but you're watching the future of the Earth pass by. Because many of these products are made from materials you've been recycling. But to keep recycling working, you need to buy products that say, made from recycled materials. For all those next in line, it would mean the world to them.
U.S. Postal Service out-of-town scoreboard. The Cyclones and the Fort Wayne Komets. The Komets lead 2-1. Our USPS out-of-town scoreboard. Indianapolis 5-2 in Cleveland tonight. Manitoba shuts out Las Vegas 4-0. And in the second period, two teams the Cyclones will face this week. Detroit 2 and Grand Rapids 1. Saturday night, Grand Rapids at the Crown.
Oh, yeah, that's a rough and tumble team. You folks that like your hockey rough and tumble, get downtown to the Crown on Saturday night and see the Cyclones take on the Grand Rapids Griffins. And now Everly with the puck between the circles in the Fort Wayne end. Cross to Pederson. He led with an elbow on a check on Donnie Biggs, and Biggs went down. We'll keep an eye on that situation. Now Castleman picks it up right wing in the neutral zone. Look it over the Fort Wayne line, tied up on the near boards. And we get a whistle and a stoppage in play as Everly and Greenlaw got tied up in front of the Cyclone bench. And now there's some pushing and shoving to the left of the Fort Wayne net. Everybody gathers just to the left of the net. Donnie Biggs there right in the thick of it, playing in his 248th consecutive game. And that is the longest current streak in the International Hockey League. Comes to play every night.
And he's the lone goal scorer tonight for Cincinnati with pushing and shoving in front. Jeff Greenlaw is going to be escorted to the penalty box. As mentioned, Don Biggs for the Cyclones with that long streak. Greenlaw was held up. He was trying to get the call against the Komets, but instead Greenlaw is the guilty player, and they're playing Popeye on the video board here. Greenlaw's not too happy about it, and a power play coming up for Fort Wayne.
Well, the Komets are 1 for 3 so far. And we get another look at the situation here. Oh, Donnie Biggs gave a little shot there to Pederson. Now that's the retaliatory shot. Pederson gave Donnie Biggs an elbow earlier in the play, so Biggs was just evening the score there.
No calls on that, but another glove sandwich, John.
Another glove sandwich. I got to remember that one. That's a great one. Now here's Currie leading the Fort Wayne rush to center ice. Gave it up the Cyclone line. Henderson. He'll wheel out up the left wing to the neutral zone and just dump it down the left boards. This will slide in back of the Comet net. Racine stops it back there for Pederson. 1:35 on the power play. Pederson carries to center ice. There's the backhanded across. It's picked off over the center ice logo by Castleman. He just disrupted the Fort Wayne rush and sent the puck back into the Comet zone.
Cyclones doing a great job of the neutral zone. They're standing up. They're not even allowing the Komets to dump it into Cincinnati territory. They're very aggressive on the penalty kill.
Oh, and now here's a shorthanded opportunity by Broughton. Over the Fort Wayne line, down the right wing, shoots. Oh, it looked like it hit the back of the net, but the save was made by Racine. They play on. I thought that was in the goal. Here's Williams with it beside the right circle. Put it in behind the net, picked up there by Currie. He'll wheel out the right side. And now he flips it ahead there in the neutral zone. Walby drives it down the right glass in behind the Cyclone net. Bauer picks it up beside the left wing circle. Wrapped up there by Williams. And now they battle away. Bauer sweeps it away to Shafronov. Flipped it up the slot. Armstrong waiting. Bottom of the right wing circle now, but Sayev. Now to Shafronov, right wing corner. Out to the high slot. Armstrong flips it down the slot, right in on Sargent. He kicks that one away. Shafronov got it back to Dupuis in the slot. One-timer, big save. Sargent rebound. Dupuis couldn't convert. effort. It ends up behind the net, but Sayev. He gave it away on the goal line. There's David Williams, slips it off the far boards. And finally, Doug McDonald with a golf swing knocks it out to center ice, so the Komets regroup.
Dangerous scoring chances for Fort Wayne. Dupuis was on his duff, letting go that shot to the right of Job Sargent.
Well, they let the Komets get away with an interference penalty right there. They play on. Here's Pederson, top of the near circle, across the far side. A one-timer by Butsayev, slides wide of the net. Pederson got it back. High slot now. Armstrong, one-timer wide of the left post. And Hawkins picks up the rebound. Greenlaw out of the box. Hawkins ahead to Simon over the Fort Wayne line. Left wing. Fires a shot. Armstrong got a piece of that. And took the puck in the corner. Scoops it up the right board. Butsayev hands it off Shafronov. Over the Cyclone line to the slot. Tied up nicely there by Wells. Gave the puck up along the far boards. Bala came out of the Fort Wayne bench and just knocked it across the Cyclone blue line, but was bumped off the puck. And the Cyclones take it back. Here's McLeod. Ahead to Hawkins over the center ice logo. To the right wing now, Dion steps over the Fort Wayne line. Flips it ahead there for Hawkins. He and Everly battle away now in the right corner with the puck underneath Everly. And Hawkins gave him a little kick. Lee Davidson took exception to that. And we get a whistle and a stoppage in play there. Hawkins now saying something to the linesman, something like, hey, he wasn't playing the puck. I had to try and get it away from him somehow. Whistle and a stoppage in play with 1:09 left in period number 2. And we have a replay on Paul Broughton's opportunity here. First of all, the nice strip of the puck there by Dougie McDonald to create the opportunity for Broughton.
And then Broughton came down the right side. I think he hit the goal post. Let's see. He was to the top of the circle, winds up, then takes a wrist shot. It deflects, it looks like off the glove. It does hit the left post and bounces directly out, but it actually went off the goaltender Racine first, then hit the left post, and then bounces out where Dupuis gained possession. Best scoring chance of the period. And thus Cincinnati still trail by 1. Broughton just about ties it up off that left goal post.
Mike, I think I'm going to go see an optician and get a new set of glasses. I don't know.
That was quick, though. It was quick. And there's the look on Paul Broughton. 12 points. As mentioned, kind of a two-way player for Cincinnati. Kills penalties and can score some points. And right off the draw, a chance for the Cyclones.
Yeah, of course, Broughton, a real versatile kind of a guy. Paul Broughton, an interesting story, Paul Broughton. Third pick, 77th overall in the 1984 draft by the New York Rangers. He played a couple of years for the Rangers. That's where he first encountered Cyclone head coach Ron Smith. And then Broughton, he ended up playing for a couple of other NHL teams and finished with the St. Louis Blues. But he's the kind of guy, Mike, he's 32 years old. I think you just never know. With the expansion coming up in the NHL, he's a specialist, a penalty killer. He might get another shot. You just never know.
Younger brother of Neil, formerly of the Minnesota North Stars, and Aaron, who played with the New Jersey Devils. One of 3 brothers that have played in the NHL.
All right, 45 seconds left for the second period. 2-1 Fort Wayne. And Batherson drives it out to the neutral zone. McLeod took it back, took a bump from Currie, drove the puck off the right boards and in behind the Comet net. Racine stops it for Dupuis. 32 seconds now for the period. Up the left wing, Batherson moves it to the neutral zone. Wells took it away. The Castleman gave it up at the Fort Wayne line. Dupuis. And then the Cyclones take it right back. Here's Biggs at his own blue line with 20 seconds on the frame. Right wing pass. Broughton turns and fires it right in on Racine. He made a blocker save. Biggs took the rebound. Tried a backhander. And stopped beside the net. Racine guides it off the near glass. It's stopped against the half boards by Jeff Wells. 5 seconds for the period. And if they pin it for a whistle, now 3, 2, 1, and time ticks off the clock, ending the second frame. And as the period ends, Castleman and Armstrong get their sticks and gloves up on one another. But no damage done after 2 periods of play. Fort Wayne right back where they ended period number 1 with the score 2-1 in their favor.
Well, that's the story. The Cyclones and the Komets, both teams failed to score in the period. A little bit physical towards the end of the frame. Should be interesting in the third. Anybody's contest, a 1-goal game going into the final frame.
All right, 2-1 in favor of Fort Wayne after 2 periods. We'll be back after this break. You're enjoying Cincinnati Cyclones hockey.
Surge. It's a fully loaded citrus soda with carbos.
Introducing the BMW 323IS. Finally, a 6-cylinder luxury sports coupe that breaks the price barrier. Test drive the 323 coupe or convertible at your BMW retailer today.
Hi, this is Mike Castleman of Cincinnati Cyclones. I'd like to wish my family and my friends and all the Cincinnati Cyclones fans a Happy New Year.
Hi, I'm Don Biggs, captain of the Cincinnati Cyclones, and I'd like to wish all my family and friends a very Happy New Year, and also all the fans of Cincinnati a very Happy New Year.
Hey everybody, this is Jeff Greenlaw of Cincinnati Cyclones. I'd like to wish everybody a Happy New Year.
And we're back to Fort Wayne. John Weideman and Mike Barrick for Cyclones hockey. And after 2 periods of play, the Fort Wayne Komets have a 2-1 lead on our Cincinnati Cyclones. No scoring in the second period, Mike. They sure made us look like fools. We thought this was going to be a barn burner, but after 2, we're right back where we started from.
Well, it could end up being a barn burner in a 2-1 game. And how about Paul Brodin? Just about ties the contest. He's blistering shot from the top of the circle. The goaltender, Bruce Racine, gets a shoulder on it. Then it hits the left goal post and bounces out. Otherwise, we'd be tied up at 2. It's been physical, great play along the boards.
Yeah, I'm surprised that second period didn't have a couple of good scraps. I don't understand. We have some stats to show the folks back at home on period number 2. And a quick look at the board. The score remains the same. The shots are just about where we picked up and left off in period number 1. I guess the thing really that stands out now, if anything, are the power plays. Cyclones 0 for 3, and Fort Wayne 1 for 4.
Yeah, the Cyclones have the #1 ranked team with the man advantage in 1997-98, and yet tonight the only team that has scored a power play goal, it's the Fort Wayne Komets, and that's the difference in the hockey game with a 2-1 contest. So the Cyclones need to get it going on the power play, if they can get one in the final period.
All right, 2-1 favor of Fort Wayne after 2 periods of play. And stay with us. I'll have an interview with Cyclone defenseman Jeff Wells after this break. You're enjoying Cincinnati Cyclones hockey.
You've only got a minute. It takes 2 to win. Kids get on the mission. Every day 2-ball competition. Boys and girls can shoot around until the clock runs down. They're playing
Cavs NBA 2-ball, a timed skills competition for girls and boys ages 9 to 17. Local level competition begins January 10th, 1998 at a location near you. Call 216-420-CAVS for more information.
You can win more than ever before this football season with Mark Lawrence Against the Spread. Hi, everybody. Mark Lawrence with Preferred Picks, winner of more #1 documented handicapping achievement awards than anyone in the nation. Inviting you to join me Saturday mornings on this channel for all your college and NFL football best bet winners. Until then, Mark Lawrence Against the Spread, reminding you to always bet with your head, not over it, and good luck as always.
In today's multicultural, interconnected world, things change really fast. The only way to compete globally is to get a global education. As a YFU international exchange student, you gain the knowledge and the skills that will prepare you to be a world player.
When first I was thinking I want to be successful in the U.S., now I think in terms of the world.
If you're between 15 and 18 and have the guts to jump out of your familiar surroundings and land in one of 30 countries around the world, you're the type of student YFU is looking for.
And I was really surprised at how much Spanish I learned. Before I went there, I didn't speak any Spanish at all. I mean, I knew it, but I didn't speak it. And coming back, I really did learn a lot.
Start learning about the world and your place in it by calling 1-800-ARE-YOU-READY and ask for this free book on international exchange for high school students. It helps you choose a country to go to and shows you how to apply. So, go global. The world looks better in person.
Back to Fort Wayne, John Weideman here for Cyclones hockey, and my guest between periods is a defenseman who doesn't always receive a lot of notoriety, but does a great job for the Cincinnati Cyclones nonetheless. Jeff Wells, it's a pleasure for you to come in and talk with us here.
Thank you, John.
Let's talk about your season so far. 4 goals and actually 5 goals, 14 assists, some pretty good numbers. And not only that, you lead the team in the plus-minus. What's been the key?
I think the key has been overall great team play. You know, we did go through a stretch early in December where things didn't go quite well. It seems like now we've got things turned around. I think that helps, whether it be your first-line guys, your checking line guys, your defense, your goaltenders, all the way down. when you're playing well, everybody has confidence, and I think that's the reason.
You talk about playing well, Jeff. The Cyclones right now in first place in the Central Division of the International Hockey League. A lot of success for this team so far and beating some tough opponents.
Yeah, and we have been playing well. You know, I don't think when you look right down, we haven't been playing as well as we can. We have a few shootout losses. Sorry. You know, maybe if we win a few of those games, that might put us higher up in the standings. I think this team has a lot to improve yet.
Speaking of tough opponents, how about the opponent tonight, the Fort Wayne Komets? They're certainly not the team that we saw earlier in the year when we handled them pretty good up here, and then again in our building. Now they seem like a different hockey club.
Oh, I think they are. I think Fort Wayne is playing fantastic right now. I think it's 7 games they haven't lost in, and hopefully we can change that tonight. But you know, right now they have a very good team. They play very well systematically, and they have that one top line that's probably one of the best in the league.
Let's talk about that top line while we were on the subject. The Russian trio, Butsayev, Shafronov, and Bashkirov. Geez, as a defenseman, they've got to give you guys nightmares.
Nightmare is a good word for it. The problem is with them is they're so quick. Those first few steps, they can get out of their zone and attack our zone, and it is tough. They move the puck extremely well between the three of them. When they come across that line, it's not a straightforward attack. They crisscross a lot, and as a defenseman, it's tough.
And they're particularly tough in goal now with the addition of both Kevin Weeks and Racine there. I guess in the last 14 games, 12-2 with those two guys in net.
Yeah, I think with Weeks here and Racine, I think we played Racine once. He's given us trouble. Weeks gave us a lot of trouble about a week ago. That helps teams. When you have good goaltending, it's going to take a team a long way.
Let's get back to the Cyclones now for a minute, if we can. This team in first place in the Central Division. You played on the team last year. What are the differences, quickly, if you can, from last year to this?
Oh, I think the real big difference is, we got Todd Simon, we got Gilbert Dion. Those two guys alone, I think my past couple of years here, we haven't had anybody in the top of the league scoring. And you got those guys. I don't know if they're 1, 2, or in the top 3 anyway. That I think is the big difference. We're getting good goaltending. I think overall we're playing well as a team, and I think we're just starting to gel.
And you have a defense partner I'm sure you're pretty fond of. You guys lead the team as a defensive pair in scoring and in plus-minus. That, of course, in Pat McLeod.
Yeah, Pat's been fantastic to play with. I think last year towards the playoffs, Ron paired both Pat and I up together. We didn't start the beginning of the year together, but he's had us together now for about close to 2 months, and it's fantastic playing with Pat. He's so experienced that when he gets that puck, he can hold it for that extra second and look a guy off and make the play. And I think, playing with a guy like that really helps out.
Jeff, quickly, we only have a couple seconds left. Behind every good man is a good woman, as the saying goes. Your wife, Julie, I'm sure, is a big support to you.
A huge support. I think at this level, she sacrifices a lot for me. And I can't say, it's hard to talk about it because, she's willing to do things. She's willing to pick up and go. She's a school teacher, and it's tough for her, that she had to pick up and go. But she's always told me that, this is my dream, and she's willing to help me, achieve it. And I can't say enough about her and how much I love her.
All right, Jeff. Well, listen, continued success. You're off to a career best start, and keep her going.
Thanks, John.
That's Jeff Wells, Cyclones defenseman. Stay with us. We'll have stats and highlights and more after these messages on Sports Channel.
When you're looking for value and people who care, come see us at Kroger. We'll always be right there. Count on us. Count on the people. Count on us. Count on the price. Value and service. You don't have to think twice. You can count on us. Here at Kroger. You can count on us. Here at Kroger. You can count on us. Count on us.
With the grand opening of the new Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse, now there's a better choice.
The only thing small about Lowe's are our prices. Aisles big, prices small.
Find a lower competitor's price and we'll match it.
Plus, take off an additional 10%.
We shop the competition, so while their prices are up here,
Lowe's prices are down here.
After all, add a key to Lowe's, and what do you get? I rest my case.
The switch is on to Lowe's, a better choice in home improvement.
And we welcome you back to Fort Wayne. A couple of hours away from 1998. John Weideman and Mike Barrick here for Cyclones hockey. Hope you folks watching back at home or wherever you are enjoying this broadcast here tonight. Third Cyclones TV hockey game of the season, and they're an awful lot of fun to do, aren't they, Mike?
They sure are. We'll have a couple more before the season concludes, one in Detroit and one in Grand Rapids. We want to remind the fans, Saturday night, ring in the new year with the Cyclones. It's a 7:30 game. Matt Ruckty, the most popular Cyclones player to hate, and Bruce Ramsey and the Grand Rapids Griffins will make their first appearance at the Crown on Saturday night. You'll recall Matt Ruckty's the guy that nailed Mike Castleman for a few months on the injured list last year, so the Cyclones might remember that on Saturday night, so we should have a great hockey game with the Griffins and the Cyclones on Saturday night. And John, right now we've played 40 minutes of play. Komets up 2-1, just one great scoring chance for the Cyclones in the second period. And let's take a look as Paul Broughton was barreling down the right wing side.
Yeah, Doug McDonald made the play happen in the neutral zone by poking the puck away from the Fort Wayne player. And here's Broughton, a former Fort Wayne Comet, coming in to try and haunt his old team. And he had Racine beaten with the shot, but he didn't beat the goaltender's best friend, the goalpost.
And we had some other action, a little pushing and shoving as the night progressed, and it was Todd Hawkins and Ed Campbell, the only majors we've had tonight. They were wrestling with each other, and eventually the jerseys would come off.
Now watch this. Hawkins will come up with an uppercut here in just a minute. If we can roll it here, they may have to speed that up a little bit.
There we go.
And here he winds up, bang, yow. I don't know if that connected or not. It looked like it did, but speaking of hits, here comes one right here in your picture. Bang. That's Paul Broughton nailing Derek Eberle with a nice body check right at the end of the delayed penalty.
And that's the way it usually develops when these two teams meet. Close checking, physical hockey, and I'm sure we'll have more in just a bit with the Komets up 2-1.
All right, we'll be back after this break. You're enjoying Cincinnati Cyclones hockey.
Do you know why some people don't volunteer? Most say it's because they were never asked. Well, we're asking. Many men and women 55 years and older are serving in your area through the Senior Corps' RSVP program. RSVP matches your interests and skills to what needs to get done in your community.
Our grandchildren have a right to clean water. That's why I'm teaching others how to test it.
Everyone's got something to offer.
There's lots of information in it. It's a lot. I like this here. This is really something. You catch on quick. All right. Okay.
Kids have just got to be able to read.
When you join your efforts with others, your community will grow stronger. You've been thinking about helping out. Here's your opportunity. Call your local RSVP program or this toll-free number today and help us get things done.
And you remember the movie Slapshot when Paul Newman ran up the steps and tore up the music to Lady of Spain? Well, this guy just played it a little while ago. And
you love to see the organist at a hockey game. Leroy Brown at the Crown delights the fans, and I think that is definitely an added bonus to the fans at a hockey game this time of the year. I remember growing up, remember the ice skating rink in St. Louis, Winterland. They had that organ going, and you kind of feel the nice winter, the snow outside, John. It's New Year's Eve. Why not here at a hockey game?
Yeah, speaking of snow, we got a little bit of the white stuff on the way up here, and we're inside right now. I can't give you good folks back in Cincinnati a weather report, but what the heck? If we got the white stuff going back, Mike, I'll take it. It's New Year's. I don't care.
That's right. You know, it's funny. We had the pushing and shoving in this second period, and they had a guy by the name of John Ferguson that played here for the Fort Wayne Komets, long time with the Montreal Canadiens. And they have legend here that one night in a very physical hockey game with the Komets, John Ferguson fought 4 consecutive opponents on one sequence. He took on 1, he took on 2, he took on 3, and then a 4th. And they say it was the wildest fight in 46 years of hockey here in Cincinnati, in Fort Wayne. We saw Todd Hawkins and Ed Campbell in the second period, but this goes back a long time here in Fort Wayne, and they've seen a number of the pugilists over the years here in Fort Wayne and the old IHL.
Yeah, Steve Fletcher was a guy that could throw him here for a lot of years. By the way, before we go any further, I want to say hi to 4, count them 4, Cyclones fans watching and listening back at home in Cincinnati. Kim Campbell, Mia Pruitt, Patty Dahlheimer, and George Campbell, big Cyclones fans. Hi to one and all, and Happy New Year. We'll see you Saturday night downtown at the Crown when the Cyclones take on the Grand Rapids Griffins.
They're all watching at home. You got to love it. And, of course, Ken Frazier and his family, they're playing Tripoli tonight and watching the Cyclones as well. So that should be fun. on a New Year's tradition as well.
Great family, Ken Frazier and his family. I had a chance to go over to his house recently for dinner. What a great bunch of people. Well, there's Bruce Racine in your picture. 17 saves here tonight. Here comes another one. Actually, Williams missed with the shot, but believe me when I tell you, folks, Bruce Racine has come up with some big ones here tonight for Fort Wayne, as has his counterpart, Josh Sargent. Here we go with the third period, and the draw is won by the Cyclones to start the third. Henderson moves it across to Danino, then back to Henderson on the left side. Outlet pass up the left wing, LaBelle. He scoops it into the Fort Wayne zone by Campbell. Greenlaw went to get it. Campbell beat him to it, though, and gave it off the boards. Ian Boyce picks it up. Carries behind the Fort Wayne net, stops, and then carries out the right side. Komets, you see there in your picture, 14-1-1 when leading after 2 periods of hockey. And maybe we can jinx them. Now we're back to the plate. Now a wrist shot from the left circle. A nice pad save there by Sargent. LaBelle carries the puck through the neutral zone over the Fort Wayne blue line. Lost it against the half boards on the right wing side, and then a nice hit by Greenlaw to shove Boyce off the puck. Greenlaw trying to muscle the puck to the corner. Tied up, and Lee Davidson came along, picks it up for Fort Wayne. Lost it in the corner. Greenlaw escapes with it. Here's Jeff Greenlaw. Wheels out, put it to the slot for LaBelle. He was tied up by Nemeth, and the puck taken away by Robin Bauer for Fort Wayne. He carries over the center ice logo and dumps it into the left corner of the Cyclone end.
No difference to start this third period. Clutching and grabbing and holding along the boards. Cyclones with the first cracks on the Fort Wayne goaltender.
Now Henderson guides it out through the neutral zone, off the stick of Armstrong and down into the Fort Wayne end. Former Cyclone went back to get it. He'll carry in behind his own net, then out the left side. And he misfires on a headman pass for Shafronov that banks off the boards and then slides right in on Sargent. He directs it there to Circa, who took it in behind, and then pokes it up the right side for Williams. But the Komets take it back. Bashkirov dumps the puck to the right corner of the Cyclone end. Slides up the boards to the point. Pederson shoves it down in behind the net. Circa got it there. Rifles it off the glass, and then Broughton taps it to the neutral zone. Eric Everly there to get it for Fort Wayne. Gave it up in the neutral zone on the near boards to Circa. Had to poke it ahead for Biggs, and then Broughton took it away from everybody. Carries over the Fort Wayne line, flipped it in the slot. Castleman, he fires it wide of the net. And now Biggs in the left corner with it. Gave the puck to Broughton. He was tied up, then Bashkirov escapes for Fort Wayne. Pokes it up the right wing, puts Sayev in the neutral zone, slips over the Cyclone line, hands it off to Shafronov, fires a shot that hit a leg, tumbles into the near corner. Sayev got it back, tries to flip it ahead, and then Broughton took it away. To Biggs, he leads a 2-on-1 with Castleman over the Fort Wayne line to Castleman, left wing circle, a shot, a sliding save by Racine. Castleman got it behind the net, walks out, put it in front for McLeod. McLeod got it in the near boards and drives it in behind the Fort Wayne net. Stefan Walby picks it up, carries the puck in behind his own net, and hands it back there to Chris Armstrong. 17.5 for period number 3. Fort Wayne with a 2-1 lead.
Cyclones putting on some pressure much of the plane of the Fort Wayne end. Cyclones desperate to score the tying goal.
Now Dupuis gave it up the neutral zone to Hawkins. Carries over the Comet line. Flipped it to the slot intended for Simon. That's broken up, and now Walby for Fort Wayne will carry over the Cyclone line down the right wing. Stops on the half boards. He gave it to Batherson, top of the right circle. He lost it there as McLeod chips it away to Dion. Then to Hawkins over the center ice logo. Loops back toward the Cyclone blue line in the neutral zone. Sends it left wing to Simon just across the Fort Wayne line. He'll scoop it off the boards in beside the Fort Wayne net. Racine leaves it back there for Campbell, who moves it left wing to Currie. He'll flip it off the boards and down to the Cyclone blue line.
The Cyclones are keeping the puck in the Fort Wayne territory. The Komets have no other choice but simply to shoot the puck to center ice.
Now Dion intercepts a headman pass by Campbell. Backhands the puck into the left corner of the Fort Wayne end. Greenlaw trying to send off Nemeth. And finally Nemeth ties Greenlaw up, and Bauer came away with a puck. Scoops it ahead for Boyce. It's by him and down ice into the Cyclone into the left corner. Oh, and Henderson and Boyce run heavily into the boards. Boyce came away with a puck. Flips it to the far circle actually for LaBelle. He scoops it ahead up the left wing intended for Greenlaw, but Pederson took it away for Fort Wayne. And now flips it back to Everly on the left side in the Fort Wayne zone. He'll send it up the left wing. Lee Davidson in the neutral zone. Gave it right back to Greenlaw, who gave it to LaBelle. Tried to give it back to McDonald. It's knocked away. Danino got it right in front of the Cyclone blue line on the right wing. Scoops it across ice to the left wing side in the Fort Wayne zone. Pederson drives it up the boards. Robin Bauer took it there and backhands it off the left boards and down ice into the Cyclone end. Here's Sargent to play it beside his net. Gave it to Danino, who carries out up the left side. Flips the puck off the left boards, intended for Castleman. That hit the linesman. Oh, and then Castleman took Putsayev down with a hook and then looked right at the referee. And referee Chris Lee let him get away with one. They play on. Broughton flips it over the center ice logo, Jeff Circa, who drives it off the left boards in behind the Comet net. Racine stops it for Campbell, who scoops the puck up the right boards and out to the neutral zone. Donnie Biggs got hold of it. Finds Broughton at the Fort Wayne line, but he lost it in the Comet zone. And then a loose puck taken by Biggs. Carries over the Comet line, stops at the left point, flips it to the slot for Williams. It's off his stick. Circa picks it up, but misplayed it to the neutral zone. Brought it back across the line, putting the Cyclones offside. 15:03 left for period number 3. It's 2-1 favor of Fort Wayne. We'll be back after these messages. You're enjoying Cincinnati Cyclones hockey. The Cincinnati Cyclones and the Cincinnati Silverbacks have a new home. Riverfront Coliseum has become the Crown, with new seats, a new sound system, a new scoreboard, and more restrooms and concession stands. See for yourself with the Crown Combo Pack. 4 tickets to a Cyclones game, 6 tickets to a Silverbacks game, plus $10 in Crown cash. It's a $104 value for just $24.95. Call 721-1000 for the Crown Combo Pack.
I started here when we had just one used car location. Look at our growth. Now we have 4 great places for our customers to shop at.
Our tremendous growth over the last few years has come in a large part from our repeat and referral customers. It accounts for over 50% of our business.
We must be doing a lot of things right. Our office processes over 1,000 car and truck titles every month.
We'll work hard to earn your business. That's a promise.
Jake Sweeney Automotive, Tri-County and Florence. Always the smart choice.
We're back to Fort Wayne, 2-1 in favor of the Komets, and another near miss involving both Broughton and Castleman, who took the shot.
The puck squirts free. Broughton gained possession. He'll spot Castleman as he worked into the Fort Wayne zone. He dumped it back, and Castleman...
Oh, now a giveaway in front. Hawkins shoots and scores! And the Cyclones have tied this game at 2 apiece. You were enjoying a replay of a Castleman miss, but as we return to the action, Hawkins was able to beat Racine. It was a trickler, but it ended up over the Fort Wayne goal line and into the net. 2-2 the score with 14:50 left in period 3.
Todd Hawkins was working in to the Fort Wayne zone, but it started as the Komets try to work it for Currie. He lost possession of the puck. Hawkins at the top of the circle, slams it home, and lo and behold, a tie game. And again, it all started back of the Fort Wayne net. Eberle tried to clear the zone. Currie did too, but Hawkins stole it, and then with a slap shot, it actually went off the Fort Wayne player, Currie, and deflects behind the goal. How do you like that? Hawkins, who's been throwing his weight around, scores his 7th of the year, 5:10 the time, and a 2-2 saw-off here in Fort Wayne.
So now it's going to be a matter of which goaltender is going to stand the tallest in the net from here on out. Back to the play, David Williams guides it up the right wing of the neutral zone. Broughton hands it to Castleman. His stick is tied up immediately there by Currie. Williams pokes it free back to Castleman. Left wing over the Fort Wayne line. Tied up there by Pederson. And there to pick up the puck, Batherson for Fort Wayne. He'll scoop it now down into the Cyclone end of the near corner. Jeff Circa back to pick up the puck. Had a little trouble controlling it behind the net. Scoops it right wing, Greenlaw, the Cyclone line. Then ahead to McDonald. And they're going to say that one traveled over 2 lines as McDonald touched the puck. So a 2-line pass called against the Cyclones.
Mark LaBelle is a rough, tough winger for the Cincinnati Cyclones. Reacquired, had played with the Michigan K-Wings and the Milwaukee Admirals last year, and really wanted to return back to Cincinnati. And under contract to the Ottawa Senators of the National Hockey League. LaBelle, 21 games, a +8 for the Cyclones, plus obviously his contributions along the boards coming into the action, 63 minutes in penalties. Second to Eric Danino in that department. A very popular Cyclones player as well. Participates in the Concrete Clones program in the summer and loves his play in the Queen City.
Yep, I think he's going to make Cincinnati his home when he finishes playing. I wouldn't put a paycheck on it, but I'd make a pretty good sized bet anyway. And I'm not even a betting man, Mike.
No, you're not. You won't be speaking French too much though in Cincinnati, but that's okay. And face-off, by the way, will come back into the Fort Wayne zone with the Cyclones on a Todd Hawkins goal have tied the game. John Torchetti not too pleased about all of that. And the Cyclones trying to reverse their fortunes. They lost 5-2 against his team last Friday night. Ron Smith pleased about his team scoring the tying goal, but Ron wants the Cyclones to get a scoring play to take the lead. Again, that would be nice in his 200th game behind the bench in Cincinnati, one of the longest tenured coaches already in the IHL. But scoring, I think, is number one consecutively.
The draw is going to be to the left of Racine. 14 minutes to go in the third, 2-2 the score. Lee Davidson to face off with Doug McDonald. And the drop of the puck. Davidson wins it cleanly to Tom Nemeth, who took it behind the Fort Wayne net, gave it to Bauer. They'll flip it out to the neutral zone for Ian Boyce. It's a bouncing puck. Wells beat everybody to it. And the former Bowling Green standout knocks it down ice in the Komets zone. Campbell took it behind the net. He got it to Tom Nemeth, who'll cruise out to the neutral zone and flip it off the left boards. This will slide in back of the Cyclone net. And Sargent taps it to Wells in the right corner. Then up the right boards, Hawkins. Outlet pass, McDonald over the center ice logo. Kept on going, took it over the Fort Wayne line, got away a wrist shot. Campbell got the shin pads on that, took it behind the net, and moves it up the left wing side. Robin Bow in the neutral zone. Hawkins tied him up. Wells took the puck away, got it over to McLeod. He moves it to Hawkins at the Cyclone line. Quick pass across now to Jeff Wells, right wing at the Cyclone line. Backhands it across to McLeod, then to the left wing of the neutral zone, Dion. And he'll just dump it down the boards behind the Comet net. Racine scoops it around, intercepted by Hawkins along the right side boards. His stick was tied up, puck taken away by Shafronov. Give it to Campbell, then to Tom Nemeth on the right side. He drives it off the boards in front of the Cyclone bench. Henderson intercepts at the Cyclone blue line and just dumps it across the Fort Wayne line. Nemeth is waiting there. Cross to Armstrong. Headman passes for Shafronov at the Cyclone blue line, but we get a whistle. The Komets are guilty of a two-line offside pass. 12:48 left for period number 3. 2-2 the score. We'll be back after these messages. You're enjoying Cincinnati Cyclones hockey.
BMW Z3 Roadster. Which road is your road?
Oh, geez, I forgot the milk. I'll be right back, Frank. Fred? Fred? Fred?
Win instantly, win on TV. Cash Explosion. It's got everybody scratching.
And you're not going to believe our next contestant.
We're back to Fort Wayne. John Weideman and Mike Barrick for Cyclones hockey. 2-2 is the score. And back to the play. Dandino will flip the puck off the near boards into the Fort Wayne end. Derek Everly back to collect behind the Fort Wayne net. He carries out the right side, flips it off the near boards. Former teammate Gilbert Dion disrupted that, and at the end of his shift, Donnie Biggs was able to gather the puck in and toss it behind the Fort Wayne net. Broughton sends it out up to the left point. Henderson, he drives a shot and hit with Sayev, ends up on the near boards. Broughton flipped it to the side. Gilbert Dion, the leading scorer in the IHL, had trouble with the puck, but Sayev took it away, sends it off the near boards and out to the neutral zone. The Cyclones have to regroup. Henderson has the puck in front of the Cyclone bench. They'll just lift it by everybody and in beside the Fort Wayne net. Derek Everly back to get it. Moves it up the left wing, Dan Currie trying to make a rink wide pass that hit a stick and ends up across to Pederson, who misfires on a head-man pass. This slides the length. David Williams is back to touch, and icing is called against the Fort Wayne Komets. 11:59 left for period number 3. 2-2 is the score, and Todd Simon is going to go off to the Cyclone penalty box, and I'm not sure what for.
And he doesn't either, because he had some words for the referee, Chris Lee. Penalty here in the third period at 8:01. It's an unsportsmanlike conduct minor, evidently, on that play into the Cincinnati zone. The Komets will gain another power play here, and on the night, I believe that is their 5th man advantage opportunity. They're 1 for 4 so far. Simon not too pleased with the call, and the Komets have a chance to regain the lead. Big penalty kill for Cincinnati.
Well, this might work in the Cyclones' favor. Simon sitting in the penalty box. This is the kind of thing that can arouse a guy like that. And, you know, you and I both know that he can put the puck in the net, as evidenced by the hat trick he scored the other night back in our building. Maybe this is something that'll get the fire burning for Todd Simon. If the Cyclones are successful in killing off his minor penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct at the 8:01 mark, maybe he can come back and lead the charge the other way.
He has scored points in 16, believe it or not, of the last 17 hockey games for Cincinnati, with a whopping 27 points during that stretch. And Ron Smith is having some words with the linesman to the near side at the Cyclones players bench. Not sure what this is all about. Behind him, Chris Jahaki over there too, but Ron Smith at least getting some words in edgewise on the linesman, and he's not happy about it at all.
Not at all. Well, the Komets get the bonus of having the face-off in the Cyclone end of the circle to the left of Joff Sargent to start the power play. Fort Wayne 1 for 4 so far on the power play. Drop of the puck. Circa got hold of it in the corner. Tries to flip it out. Currie kept it alive right point. Down the boards for Davidson beside the right wing circle. Gave it up in the right corner to Walby, then behind the net to Bawa. Back to Walby in the right corner. He misfires on a pass out to the high slot for Currie. The puck slides all the way down the ice.
You can thank Doug McDonald and David Williams, who created the left side of the goal, forcing Fort Wayne, and the Cyclones ended up dumping into the Fort Wayne territory.
1:32 on the Komet power play. Walby over the line, right wing. Got a wrist shot away that hit Circa in the shin pads. Tumbles away to the far boards, Davidson. Then the Walby, left wing corner. To Lee Davidson beside the left wing circle. And to Walby beside the net, then to Davidson, left wing circle. Now to the high slot, Currie fires a shot. McDonald got in front of that. Came back to Currie. He drives one wide of the net. McDonald hobbling a little bit. They play on. Here's Pederson, right wing circle, moves and shoots. Hit the side of the net. And the puck ends up on the mesh behind the Cyclone net. Whistle, stoppage, and play. 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining on the minor penalty to Todd Simon for unsportsmanlike conduct.
I believe that shot also may have grazed off the left goal post for a break for Cincinnati. You recall late in the second period, Paul Broughton clanked it off the left post, and as a result, the game is still tied. There's the shot by Pederson. Sargent gets a glove on it. I think it deflected, and he actually deflected away into the back of the goal. So that didn't hit the post. I think Sargent got a piece. Here's another look. Pederson from the top of the circle, and it was deflected off the glove of Sargent and wide of the target.
And then Doug McDonald, to borrow a phrase from famed hockey broadcaster Foster Hewitt, he was on the limp and he headed to the Cyclone bench. But no doubt we'll see Dougie Mack back in action. And off the draw, Danino picks up the puck and drives it off the right boards and all the way down in behind the Komet net.
I'm glad you didn't say that was the goaltender's best friend.
I said that earlier. We're back to the play. Shafronov took it over the Cyclone line down the right wing, stops beside the circle, and then gave it up on the near boards. Henderson, the only Cyclone rookie, pokes it free and down ice into the Fort Wayne end.
Great confidence by Ron Smith to have Henderson out of the penalty kill situations in a tie game with 10.5 minutes left in the final period.
32 seconds on the Fort Wayne power play, and speaking of number 32, that's Armstrong leading the rush. Shoot up the right wing, Batherson took it to the Cyclone line, then across, then to Armstrong right point, cross now to Dupuis, one-timer over top of the net. Picked up by Batherson beside the right wing circle. He gave it to Shafronov, who put it behind the net with Sayev, and then he gave it back to Shafronov, and he gave it away to Biggs, who cruises out to center ice up the left wing and guides the puck down the left boards. This will slide into the near corner of the Fort Wayne end. 4 seconds in the power play, time maybe for one rush. Strong carries out, moves it to Lee Davidson at the Fort Wayne line, and now out of the box is Simon. Cyclones back to full strength. Lee Davidson tried to flip the puck high off the glass behind the Cyclone net. He ends up sending it over the glass and up into the crowd. And so we get a whistle and a stoppage in play. They'll bring the face-off out to the neutral zone just on the Cyclone side of the center ice red line. There in your picture, Todd Simon. We'll see how he reacts to being sent to the sin bin for 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Again, he's got that streak on the line, a 7-game scoring streak. He played 15 games in the National Hockey League with the Buffalo Sabres and still has some words for the linesman. Acquired in that trade prior to the start of the year, John, for Scott Thomas. And it's turned out to be a good one for Cincinnati. Second in the league, as we've talked about throughout, in the league with 50 points, plus 10, leading the league in assists. What a great acquisition by Ron Smith, the coach and quote-unquote general manager.
Absolutely, and when you think about the acquisitions, Mike, that took place over the summer, Dion and Simon, Ron Smith went out and traded and got the second scorer right now in the IHL, and then he signed as a free agent the top scorer in the IHL, so it makes Ron Smith look like a genius. Now, speaking of Simon, he's got the puck in the corner, flips it out to the neutral zone. Armstrong took it in front of Hawkins, misplayed the puck back into his own end. Dupuis flips it off the near glass. This will bounce down ice to the Cyclone end. Simon there to get it. Over to McLeod. Put off the right boards to the Fort Wayne blue line. Armstrong to get it there for the Komets. Head of it, Sayev. He'll pick it up and wheel out to the neutral zone. Tied up over the center ice logo. Stripped of the puck. Broughton ran over Armstrong at the Komet blue line with a big body check. Then they battle away against the boards in front of the Komet bench. And Mark LaBelle gave Bashkirov a little shot there with a cross check, knocking him down. Bashkirov got to the puck and dumps it in behind the Cyclone net. McLeod will carry out. Moves it up the left wing to LaBelle in the neutral zone. Rink wide pass, Doug McDonald. He lost it as it bounced over his stick. Here's Davidson the other way. Head to Robin Bauer. Left wing over the Cyclone line. Muscles his way in behind the net. Left it to the doorstep. It slides up the slot. Campbell a drive and a blocker and glove save by Sargent. And then he stripped of the puck by Boyce, who couldn't convert. And then Boyce got it back top of the circle. Fires over top of the net. And now here's Nemeth firing one through traffic. This slides by, and we get a whistle stoppage in play. Now you got Jeff Wells having it lead Davidson. Robin Bauer joins the fray for Fort Wayne, and everybody grabbing hold of everybody else. Mike, if you had a blanket, you could throw it over about 10 hockey players right now and a couple of linesmen.
A 10-player melee in front of the goal with an unlikely combatant, two unlikely combatants in Lee Davidson and Jeff Wells. Wells doesn't drop the gloves too often, but did not like the fact that the Komets were stationing themselves in the slot area, and Wells just pushed Davidson out. Davidson says, hey, move along, little guy, and Wells said, forget it. And then they drop the gloves and pushing and shoving in front. You got to love it. Jeff Wells playing physical in front of the goal, keeping this a 2-2 tie.
All right, they're trying to have at it here in Fort Wayne. We'll have plenty more for you when we return from these messages. 2-2 the score. You're enjoying Cincinnati Cyclones hockey.
Love 30.
There's a player injured on the field.
And that ball is out of here.
She shoots, she scores.
And it's good.
So the Cleveland Indians are the American League champs, and in our quest to bring you closer to the story, and of course keeping with the tradition of Catcher Cam, Fox Sports News proudly presents Trophy Cam. Doesn't anyone just high-five anymore?
And we're back to Fort Wayne. Cyclones have their fourth power play opportunity on the game, 0 for 3 so far. There's Simon now. Works it across the Fort Wayne line to Castleman down the right wing. He gave it back to Biggs, then to Castleman on the right wing corner, to Gilbert Dion behind the net, back to Castleman right corner. To the right point, Simon. Back across left point, Jeff Wells winds, fakes a shot, got it to Simon, high slot, tap pass to Castleman, put it in front, Donnie Biggs, turns and fires a shot, hit a skate, here's Wells, a drive, score! Power play goal, I believe. Jeff Wells is going to get credit unless Gilbert Dion got a tap on it on the way in. Either way, Cyclones take the lead on the Fort Wayne Komets. It's 3-2 Cincinnati Cyclones.
Gilbert Dion, who was cut earlier in the first period, helping Cincinnati in the power play. But as you mentioned, it was Jeff Wells from the top of the circle with a bullet. Don Biggs on the rebound with the first crack. He stopped. His shot was blocked to the defense. It went to Wells. Teed up a drive. I think it went off the stick of the Fort Wayne defender. Dion was causing havoc in front. And again, Biggs in front. Couldn't really get a shot off. It was blocked to the defense. And then with Dion causing havoc in the slot, it goes to Jeff Wells. It went, I believe, off the leg of number 17, Pederson. Wells excited about it. A power play goal. And again, there's the attempted shot by Biggs. Wells lets the shot go. I think it went all the way through. And as mentioned, in Cincinnati with 2 goals here in this third period and have a 3-2 lead.
Well, the match is number 5 on his back. Jeff Wells with his 5th goal on the season, his 2nd on the power play. 3-2 favor the good guys. Here's LaBelle with the puck on the left boards in the Comet zone. Dumps it behind the net. Tom Nemeth there to get it. He let Butsaya pick it up and carry out the left side. He moves it back across the zone to the right wing side. Campbell out to the neutral zone, drives it off the near boards by everybody in the length of the ice. Danino races back and touches, and icing is called against the Fort Wayne Komets. 7:19 left in period number 3. Cyclones right now enjoying a 3-2 lead on the Fort Wayne Komets.
You know, there's a lot of credit to go around here, and the line that's stepping on the ice right now for the Cyclones, Doug McDonald with Mark LaBelle and Paul Broaden. These guys have been against the Shafronov line for most of the night, the Russian line, although that's not the line out for Fort Wayne right now, causing the Komets to turn the puck over, and eventually the Cyclones get that power play, and Jeff Wells nails it home, but thanks to some great checking, keeping it tied, and then Wells lights it up, and you got to love it, John. Jeff Wells scoring the goal. That, by the way, is first road goal of the year.
Oh, big night for Jeff Wells. We're back to the play. Off the draw. Campbell controls for Fort Wayne. Third up the left wing. Dan Currie in the neutral zone. Shot it down the left boards behind the Cyclone net, then fell on Danino's stick trying to draw a penalty, and none given. Henderson touches the puck deep in the Cyclone zone. Icing is called again against the Fort Wayne Komets. And 7:05 left for period 3. 3-2 favor the good guys.
Mike Castleman leading his team with the Cyclones in a 3-2 lead. Faceoff will come back deep to the left of the Fort Wayne goal. Castleman playing with the Carolina Monarchs of the AHL and now playing with the Cincinnati hockey team. A great acquisition, joining the Cyclones last year.
Yep, Father Steve in town. He might be watching right now, so if he is, we say hi to Steve. He came down, had a little bit of a holiday from up near the Kingston area. And I know that's not his hometown, but if you're anywhere from near Kingston, Ontario, Don Cherry's going to say, Kingston kid, good kid, good kid. In the meantime, we're back to the play. Here's Sargent behind the net with the puck. Gave it to Bert Henderson. They'll flip it off the right boards to Paul Broughton, waiting at the Cyclone line. Gave it to Donnie Biggs. He's got one goal tonight, looking for another one. Took it over the line, weaved to the slot, lost it, and then got hit hard by Pederson. And Castleman got it back, flips it from the left corner in front of the net. It bounces in behind. Pederson picks it up and carries out the left side. And then scoops it to the neutral zone. Danino intercepts, sends it off the left boards. Here's Castleman over the Fort Wayne line, stops along the half boards, flips it in behind the net. Guy Dupuis back to get the puck for Fort Wayne. They'll carry out the left side and scoop it ahead for Ian Boyce. But Williams took it away over the center ice logo and flips it off the left boards into the Fort Wayne zone. Dupuis hammered with a body check in the near corner by Dion. Escapes and flips the puck out to the neutral zone in front of the Cyclone bench. Circa there to get it. He feeds Dion at the Fort Wayne line. Took it over. Fires the shot. Racine, a shoulder save. Loose puck put right in front. Simon shoots. Sliding save by Racine. Here's Ian Boyce taking the rebound up the left wing to the neutral zone. Dumps the puck into the right corner of the Cyclone end. Davidson there to get it. To Robin Bawa, bottom of the right wing circle. Pushed off the puck in the corner by Circa. Slides up towards Tom Nemeth. Winds up, fires. Oh, and Sargent got a piece of that. Now in beside the net. Davidson chips it on goal, and Sargent makes the save and holds on. I guess they've got the puck pinned against the side of the net right now. Our view is obscured by Sargent and whoever that is, Gilbert Dion, standing in front of the Cyclone net.
Cincinnati keeping the Komets on the perimeter. This probably their best chance, but before that, Dion was able to break past the Komet defense, let go of the shot, and then they dumped it in front. Hawkins done a beautiful setup for Simon, and Racine with simply a marvelous stop in front. And again, taking the look as Simon just simply robbed in tight.
Well, right now, that's the save of the game.
There you go.
Bruce Racine with a big sliding save for Fort Wayne.
Curve on your body. Because it's the weight, the challenge, and the secret behind one of the most effective fitness machines.
Favor the Cyclones.
Great checking by Cincinnati. They've limited Fort Wayne in this third period to just 3.
Head to LaBelle, who collides right at the Cyclone blue line with Greenlaw. A couple of freight trains running head on against one another. They play on. Campbell with the puck.
That was the best hit of the night, and it was accidental.
Here's Bauer now carrying out. Gave it over center ice to Davidson. He wheels across the Cyclone line to the high slot. Now to the right point. Tries to flip it on goal. He does, and a glove save made by Sargent. He holds on to it right there. He had Ian Boyce standing right next to him there looking for a cheap shot. And we get a whistle and a stoppage in play. We've got Greenlaw and LaBelle colliding at the Cyclone blue line for your viewing pleasure, or not.
Oh, was that intentional?
That hurts from up here, I'm telling you.
No.
Ouch.
Obviously accidental with the players crisscrossing into the neutral zone, and the two big, strong Cyclones down into the ice, John. Man alive, they're both okay about that, and I'm sure the Cyclones can hold on and win this game. They'll joke about it later.
Yeah, and the boys are all over Greeny as he heads to the bench. That's hilarious.
Why don't you hit the Komets and not your own guy, right?
Yeah, really. Off the draw, backhander by Shafronov is wide of the net. Shafronov got his own rebound. Through the left point at Derek Everly. Flips it on goal. It's deflected in on Sargent. He turns to the side, and it's quickly cleared down ice. And now here is Racine. Pokes it ahead to Everly. Flips it to the neutral zone. Bashkirov, the Russian, wheels over the Cyclone line left wing. Ran into Circa, and Castleman lost the puck. And now Bashkirov tries to strip Circa's stick, and he does. He fires. Big save, Sargent. He lost track of the rebound, and there to help him out was Broughton and David Williams. An alert play by the Cyclone defense. Whistle, stoppage, and play. 4:44 left in period number 3. 3-2 in favor of the Fort Wayne Komets. And we'll be back with more after these messages. You're enjoying Cincinnati Cyclones hockey.
Surge. It's a fully loaded citrus soda with carbos. Feed the rush.
When you're looking for value and people who care, come see us at Kroger. We'll always be right there. Count on us. Count on the people. Count on us. Count on the price. Value is service. You don't have to think twice. You can count on us. Here at Kroger. You can count on us. Here at Kroger. You can count on us. Count on us.
4:44 left for the third. 3-2 Fort Wayne. Face off in the Cyclone zone to the right of Josh Sargent. Team captain Donnie Biggs is going to step in there and take it against Slava Butsayev, the IHL player of the week last week. Drop of the puck, and the Cyclones get it. Here's Danino, carries behind the net. Sends it to the left side, LaBelle. He'll golf it out over everybody out to the neutral zone. Pederson back to get the puck at his own blue line. The Shafronov, then ahead Butsayev. Gave it ahead Bashkirov. Nice poke check at the Cyclone line by Danino. Got the puck ahead Doug McDonald. Then to Henderson in the neutral zone. He drives it off the right boards into the Fort Wayne end. This circles the net to the near corner. Pederson put it behind the net. Dupuis left it back there for Pederson. He'll carry out the right side. Moves the puck ahead to Shafronov. Right wing in the neutral zone. Lost his edge, fell down. Gave the puck to Butsayev. Wheels over the Cyclone line. Drop pass for Shafronov. A shot and a stick save there by Sargent. Butsayev got to the rebound. To the left point to Armstrong. To the right point, Dupuis fires over top of the net. Hit the glass. And it slides around, and it looked like it made the neutral zone, but they're going to say he kept it in the zone on the far side. They play on. Now Bashkirov with it over the center ice logo. Left wing pass. Davidson over the Cyclone line. Give it back to Bashkirov. Left wing circle. Moves in now behind the net. Looks to center. Flips it up the boards to Dupuis at the right point. He fires. Saved by Sargent. The rebound. Shafronov flips it in front. Bashkirov. He scores! And Josh Sargent did everything he could to keep the Fort Wayne Komets at bay. One too many rebounds cost the Cyclones. And the Fort Wayne Komets have tied this game at 3.
They have over 8,000 fans here, 8,153. It's 100 over capacity this New Year's Eve game, and the Russians worked it out. Bashkirov, it was played to the point. Dupuis let go of the original shot. Shafronov was stationed to the left of Sargent. He couldn't gain the full possession of the puck. Then he dumped it in front. One stop by Sargent, and then on the second opportunity, banged in by Bashkirov, and lo and behold, a tie game. Again, it was all set up from the right point. Again, Sargent makes 2 stops, then it was blocked and dumped in front, and finally it was jammed in by Bashkirov, and the Russians finally connect a 3-all tie.
Well, we're about 3.5 minutes away from a Rogaine hair-raising finish to end 1997. And another 4-3 final score if it happens, Mike. A little deja vu all over again, as they used to say. We're back to the play. Dupuis with a puck in the Fort Wayne end. Put it behind the net for Armstrong. Scoops it around at the left wing boards. Ian Boyce, he'll lead the Comet rush to center ice. He give it to Davidson, flips a bouncer in on Sargent. He directs it wide. And Wells took the loose puck behind the net. Scoops it around up the left wing boards to Gilbert Dion. Carries to the neutral zone. Rink wide pass, Hawkins right on the money right wing. Dumps the puck to the left wing corner of the Fort Wayne end. Pederson beat everybody to the puck, carries behind his own net, and then Simon was pushed into the back of the Fort Wayne net by Campbell. Nothing called. Here's Robin Bauer over the Cyclone line down the left wing, centers it in front. Nobody home. Broughton took the loose puck and bounces it off the near boards to the neutral zone. Here's Campbell now driving it down the left boards into the Cyclone end. Circles the net. Jeff Circle let it go up the near boards. Pederson kept it alive for Fort Wayne. Biggs took it away, got it to Circa in the far corner, tries to scoop it out, ends up giving it up the left boards there to Biggs, then ahead to Dion. Backhands it out across the blue line to neutral ice. Walby took it away. He fed Currie down the left wing. He fires wide of the net, slides around the boards, and kept in the zone at the near point by Walby. Big Dan Currie behind the net, carries out with the puck on his backhand, got a backhander away. Sargent hugged the right post. And the loose puck centered up the slot. Dion took it away, got it to Broughton, right wing of the neutral zone. Flips it ahead for Dion into the Fort Wayne end. Currie was back checking. He intercepted the pass. And then he's tied up and taken down in the corner by Dion. Nothing called. Dupuis moves it ahead to Butsayev over the center ice logo. Then over the Cyclone line, down the right side. Couldn't get a good shot away. Bert Henderson, a nice defensive job to tie him up. And then Broughton pokes the puck free beside the Cyclone net. Henderson picks it up and carries in behind. Scoops it around up the right boards. Paul Broughton waiting at the Cyclone line. Pokes it ahead. Donnie Biggs over the center ice logo. Chris crosses with Castleman over the line. Castleman winds up, fakes the shot, moved into the left circle, then into the corner, then in behind the Fort Wayne net, pushed into the boards there by Dupuis. Tries to kick it free, but Bashkirov right there to take it away. Here's Bashkirov wheeling out the center ice. Bashkirov now over the Cyclone line down the right wing. Lost the puck in the corner. Henderson ran into him there. The two of them battle away. Henderson threw Bashkirov down to the ice. And then along to get the puck was McDonald. He lost his edge and the puck. Here's Butsayev, wheels and fires a shot as he was tied up and taken down. Stopped in front. Greenlaw sends it all the way down ice. We're under a minute to play in period 3. 3-3 the score. Now Bauer, right wing in the neutral zone, tied up by McLeod, taking off the puck. They're letting him play hockey here. LaBelle had the puck, then lost it in the neutral zone. Lee Davidson took it over the Cyclone line, right wing, ran into a check from McLeod, lost the puck. Bauer got it beside the right wing circle for Fort Wayne. To the corner, Ian Boyce coughed it up there, and Greenlaw will take the safety and send it down ice and right in on Racine. 30 seconds remaining for the third period. 3-3 the score. Eddie Campbell shot the puck into the Cyclone end. Todd Hawkins back to get it. Scoops it up the left wing. Paul Broughton in the neutral zone. And he'll scoop it off the left glass and in behind the Fort Wayne net to the far corner. And then Hawkins finishes his check on Dupuis. Knocked him off the puck. Broughton sends one in front of the net. It's sticked away by Racine. 10 seconds for the period. Here's Hawkins taking it away in neutral ice and then giving it right back to the Komets. Walby. Left wing in the neutral zone. Broughton hit Walby with a slash and broke his stick. Whistle, stoppage, and play as time ticks off the clock. 3-3 is the score after regulation, and folks, we are headed for a Rogaine hair-raising finish. And Mike, what a better way to finish off 1997.
Well, excitement. There's no doubt about it. Thrilling game here. 3-3 through a total of 60 minutes. We'll come back with that shootout, John. See if the Cyclones can pull one out. They have 3 this year.
All right, 3-3 after regulation. We'll be back with a Rogaine hair-raising finish. After these messages, you're enjoying Cincinnati Cyclones hockey.
Well, if I had money, I'd tell you what I'd do. I'd go downtown, buy a Ford truck or two. I'm crazy about a Ford truck. Lord, I'm crazy about a Ford truck. I'm gonna buy me a Ford truck and cruise it up and down the road. I'm gonna buy me a Ford truck and cruise it up and down the road.
See your tri-state quality Ford dealer.
They're back to Fort Wayne. About an hour and 50 minutes away from 1998. Glad you could join us here for Cyclones hockey. John Weideman and Mike Barrick here at the Allen County Coliseum in Fort Wayne. 3-3 is the score. As we told you, Cyclones with 2 goals in the third period from Hawkins and Wells, but then Bashkirov got the tie gamer, his 5th of the season, from Shafronov and Dupuis to knot this game up at 3 as we head to the Rogaine hair-raising finish.
Cincinnati 3-7 in shootouts this year, but all 3 victories have come with Job Sargent in nets. 2-1. Obviously, Fort Wayne have not played in as many as the Cyclones. Only 3 shootout games for them in 1997-98. And Job Sargent, again, looks for his 4th shootout victory. We'll see if he can hold on. The Cyclones scored 2 of 3 in the third period, erased that 2-1 deficit. It looked like they had the win, but the Russian unit of Bashkirov, Shafronov, and Butsayev set up a goal, and that tied the game. We'll see if the Cyclones can finish out the year, John, on the positive end with a shootout victory. Nonetheless, they did get a point. Ron Smith would love to have 2 and say Happy New Year.
Well, the shots on goal for period number 3 favoring Fort Wayne. They had 11 for a regulation total of 33. Cyclones had 6 shots on net and a regulation total of 24 shots on goal. And the first shooter in the Rogaine hair-raising finish is Pat McLeod, a defenseman. The last time Patty McLeod fired one in this situation, he scored. Let's see what happens here. Pat McLeod, leading scoring defenseman for the Cyclones, picks it up at center ice, carries over the Fort Wayne line, wheels down the slot, he shoots, he scores! Pat McLeod, a rooftop shot. Cyclones lead in the shootout, 1-0.
Bruce Racine went down. Pat McLeod said thank you very much. He left him the upstairs portion, and he nailed it. 1-0 Cincinnati in the shootout.
Now Shafronov, the Fort Wayne shooter, picks it up at center ice, carries over the Cyclone line, wheels down the slot, he fakes, he shoots, he scores.
Shafronov will represent Kazakhstan in the Olympics in Nagano and scores the goal. 1-1 here in the shootout. Both teams nailing one home.
And the next shooter for the Cyclones is team captain Donnie Biggs. Takes a long look at the Fort Wayne net, picks up the puck at center ice, wheels over the Comet line and down the slot. He shoots, he scores! Donnie Biggs, same spot as Pat McLeod. Top shelf on the right side, beats Racine. Cyclones lead it 2-1 in the shootout.
Obviously, the Cyclones are going on the book of Racine. He's down, the Cyclones shoot up, it's 2-1.
Now here's Butsayev over the Cyclone line, down the slot. He shoots, he scores! Right through the 5-hole on John Sargent.
2 upstairs goals for the Cyclones, 2 low shots for Fort Wayne. 2-2. All 4 shooters, John, have scored. Kind of a rarity.
Stevie Roberts will be the next Cyclone shooter. He picks up the puck at center ice, carries over the Fort Wayne line, wheels down the slot, he shoots, and a save by Racine as he hit the knees in the goal crease.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was a low shot. The Cyclones scored up high in the first 2. We'll see if the Cyclones change it up as the shootout develops.
And the final Russian on the trio, Bashkirov, picks it up at center ice, wheels over the Cyclone line, slowly down the slot, he digs, he shoots, Sargent a big save as he slid to his left and got the pad on that shot, denying Bashkirov. We're still tied at 2 in the Rogaine hair-raising finish.
This really is. Bashkirov goes for the deke, and Sargent gets a skate on it. How do you like that? 3-3.
Now second leading scorer in the IHL, Todd Simon, picks it up at center, wheels over the Fort Wayne line, down the slot, shoots, and a pad save by Racine.
John, I'm surprised. The last 2 shots low, their first 2 upstairs. We'll see what happens here as the shootout continues.
Here's Currie for Fort Wayne, picks it up at center ice, carries over the Cyclone line, wheels down the slot, fakes a shot, now shoots. Sargent got in front of that with the pads, denying Dan Currie. And the next Cyclone shooter, Mike Castleman. He scored the game winner against Orlando in the December 20th game in the shootout. He picks it up at center ice. Wheels across the Fort Wayne line down the right side, angles back in front, he shoots! Oh, and a big glove save by Racine. He holds on.
Gosh, Racine is going down early. Castleman knew it. He tried to lift it over top, and somehow Racine got a glove on that. It's 3-3. This could be the winning shot for Fort Wayne. Big save for Sargent upcoming, we hope.
It's Stefan Walby. The crowd in Fort Wayne rises. Walby picks it up at center ice. Carries over the Cyclone line. Wheels down the slot. He shoots wide of the net. So Walby misses, and we go to our 6th shooter. We'll see who it is for the Cyclones.
Sargent kept
the veteran Paul Broughton.
Yep. Sargent kept the shooter high outside, and no shot on goal on that last scoring chance for Walby.
Former Fort Wayne Comet Paul Broughton, one of the Broughton brothers from Roseau, picks it up at center ice, wheels over the Comet line, down the slot, he shoots! Big save by Racine.
He was denied.
Got in front of that and just laid down.
He was denied and said, I want another crack at goaltender Bruce Racine, and didn't matter, he stopped the second one.
Now Lee Davidson, the next Comet shooter, picks up the puck at center ice, carries over the Cyclone line, wheels down the slot, he shoots, he scores! Game over. Fort Wayne Komets win it 4-3 in the Rogaine hair-raising finish.
Great shot by Davidson, low to the ice. He played with the Atlanta Knights in this league, the Chicago Wolves, stepped in across that blue line and blistered it low for the game-winning goal after the Cyclones had scored in their first 2 shots. Works in, took a slap shot, and again, kept it low to the ice. Glove side, John, right to the bottom left-hand corner. The Cyclones do get a point out of this, but the Komets have now won 9 straight games thanks to the victory. The Cyclones, however, gain a point. Not too bad on the road.
All right, well, I tell you what, 4-3 is the final score in favor of the Fort Wayne Komets. They win in the Rogaine hair-raising finish. Mike and I will be back to tell you about it and more after these messages. You're enjoying Cincinnati Cyclones hockey. And we're back to Fort Wayne. John Weideman and Mike Barrick for Cyclones hockey. And the Komets come out of this one on top, 4-3 in the Rogaine hair-raising finish. Tough lane, final score. The Cyclones go down to defeat to the Fort Wayne Komets 4-3. Happy New Year, everybody, from up here in Fort Wayne. I'm John Weideman for Mike Barrick. We had a great time tonight. Cyclones, again, 4-3, the final score in favor of Fort Wayne, but a great time for you and I, and we send everybody our New Year's greetings. Thanks a lot for watching.